The Toronto Raptors went from possibly this might be the best win of the season, and this team is showing all sorts of grit and toughness and a will to stay together and maybe auditioning what they can do against good competition because this is not a team that has beat a healthy, good team all year. And they were right on the precipice of doing that tonight. They had a double digit lead. This game followed a very predictable trend for this team over the last, I want to say, a week and a half to 2 weeks, where they have gone up big on good teams and then let their foot off the pedal and just completely collapsed. I don't think the collapse has ever been as disgusting as it was tonight. This was embarrassing. The crowd was booing. It was turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover as Anthony Edwards went off in the fourth quarter. Lost in all of this is the Raptors played really well tonight. They played really well tonight. They made some mistakes, but they had a 16-point lead. And if you want to take a look at this game, if you want to take a look at just what happened here, this is what happened. This right here is what happened. You lose this game by 2 points. A little bit disingenuous, a little bit of, stuff at the end there. But my God, like you had this game like right in the middle of the third quarter. According to ESPN, you got as you got as high as 96.4% win probability. 96.4? Really? 96.4. 104.88. That's a 16-point lead. My eyes are not bugging. Scotty Barnes played really well. CMB, who for some reason RJ Barrett is crashing out on because he's the one who turned the ball over, he played pretty well too. Sandro Mamukelashvili gave you a game. Emmanuel quickly made shots. The Raptors made threes. The Raptors played defense. They did a good job on Anthony Edwards, despite the fact that very much, of the night, the Raptors were undersized across the board. They were smaller at every position tonight, and it didn't matter because the Raptors, the ball was moving, the ball was humming. Brandon Ingram, really couldn't buy a shot early in the game, and it didn't matter. RJ Barrett was turning the ball over, missing free throws, missing assignments, getting bodied by Julius Randle, and it didn't really matter because the pace and flow of the game was so much in Toronto's favor. They played such a mature game until it was time to close this game out, and they just gave it away. They gave it away. They just handed it away. And a game like this is very frustrating. It's very frustrating because not only do you end a 22-year drought for the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have not won in Toronto since Kevin Garnett was here in 2004. If people who are OG, basketball fans, you will remember 2004, Kevin Garnett was the best player in the league. Currently, Kevin Garnett is a podcaster who's been retired for almost a decade. That's how long it's been. So this is a drought that has been as long as some people have been alive. There are chat members here who are like 2004. That was 5 years before I was born. Yes. And the Raptors let that go tonight on WWE night. This is the classic WWE thing, right? You're winning. And then, the tag team partner turns on his own team and decides, I'm not on this side. I'm on the other side. Great. Look, man, I want to have a lot of empathy for RJ Barrett. That's why it took a little bit longer, because I swear to God, I was going to yell into a microphone because this game was so frustrating, and I'm right there with you. I am upset, but I'm a human being, and I understand what RJ is going through tonight, because there is a very good chance, a small chance, but a chance, that this is the last time that RJ Barrett just played as a Raptor. Because by the time the Raptors face the Chicago Bulls tomorrow, the trade deadline will have passed. And if RJ Barrett was looking to make a plea to Bobby Webster and the Toronto Raptors front office to say, hey, I can make this work, tonight was possibly the worst game he's played as a Raptor. Quite possibly. Julius Randle goes 7 for 18. The Raptors did a pretty good job. Rudy Gobert, Scotty torched him. Destroyed him in every sense of the word. They managed to hold him to 12 rebounds, even though he was the only 7-footer on the court the entire night. Naz Reid went off, 17 points, including a huge stretch carrying this team when Anthony Edwards was on the bench. The Raptors lost the Anthony Edwards minutes, but the Raptors also lost the non-Scotty minutes significantly. In a game where you lost by 2, Scotty Barnes was +9, which means that you were -7 with him on the bench tonight, a trend that has held true. Now you're going to look at that -14 next to Colin Murray-Boyles, and I don't think it necessarily reflects Colin Murray-Boyles' performance. I think it just unfortunately reflects the fact that he was on the court during that disastrous meltdown in the fourth quarter. And I don't think it's his fault. I really don't. I think CMB competed really hard tonight, and I don't think that anything that happened tonight was on him. And Emmanuel quickly played really well. I mean, if you're a fan of this channel, you know that I have often gone off on Emmanuel quickly. I've often said that this guy just, over dribbles the basketball, and he had his moments. He had moments where I think the offense felt disorganized because of him, in large part because of him. But for the most part tonight, he made his shots. He played within the offense. And okay, it wasn't a perfect game, but he hit his shots. He played off the ball. He hit big shots to end quarters. I'm not mad at Emmanuel quickly tonight. Jamal Shed had a rough game. If we're being honest, Jamal Shed had a rough game and a turnover at the worst possible time. And I think that's going to stick in people's minds. Jakob Poeltl and Grady Dick, I think, competed hard. Grady had a nice little putback jam there. I don't think he took a single three tonight. And Jacoby, he competed really hard, said he wanted the Anthony Edwards matchup. And for the most part, I don't necessarily think he's a great matchup for Anthony Edwards, but he tried his best. I think both those guys are going to benefit tremendously from Ochai Agbaji being out. The Raptors go 9 deep tonight, just 9 deep. No Jamison Battle, no Elijah Martin, no Jonathan Mobo. They go 9 deep tonight. You can tell that there was an intense focus tonight to win this game. The Raptors wanted to win this game. They desperately wanted to win this game. This was a chance to get the monkey off your back. You're 10-1 against good teams this year. This is a chance to make it 10-2. This is a chance to show that you can actually compete with a championship contender. And in a sense, you did kind of show that you can compete with a championship contender. But you also showed your immaturity. You also showed why this is the 8th youngest team in the league. And you also showed why maybe some people feel that RJ Barrett isn't a long-term fit on this team. RJ Barrett with 13 points, 4 turnovers, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Shout out to RJ for getting 2 blocks. I can't remember the last time RJ got 2 blocks. 6 rebounds, 1 assist. A lot of forced shots at the rim, a lot of missed bunnies, a lot of defensive mistakes. The Toronto Raptors lost Dante DiVincenzo. That was not on RJ Barrett per se. That was also on Emmanuel Quickly. That was also on Grady Dick. That was also on Jakob Poeltl. One time it was on Scotty Barnes. So there's a lot of mistakes. Scotty Barnes, for the most part tonight, played about as perfect as you can. But he had a couple of really bad turnovers. All of his turnovers, for the most part, were either it was a dead ball or it was a live ball against a retreating defense, which didn't extend too much of an advantage. There is a big difference between I turned the ball over trying to beat the defense down the court, and we set up our half-court defense pretty much, and no transition offense is given. There's another type of turnover, which is the type of turnover that the Raptors gave up 3 times in the last 2 minutes of this game. Those are the types of turnovers that lead to fast breaks and dunks on the other end, and those are the worst types of turnovers. They're cross-court turnovers or mid-court turnovers where your offense is already down and the defense is able to just beat an open court the other way. Those are the worst types of turnovers. I don't think Scotty had any of those, but nevertheless, I think Scotty played his heart out tonight. It's almost like he wanted to make a case for why his team should stay together. He had 22 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Other than the fourth quarter, where the Raptors predictably lost 34-22 and were outscored by 12 points, I think Scotty outplayed Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert tonight. I think he was the best player on the court. But in the fourth quarter, I think that Anthony Edwards just took over, and it was time after time just picking on defensive matchups and nothing at the rim. There was no rim protection. If you could get Scotty out of the rim a little bit, it was just too easy. And this game demonstrated a few things for me. Number one, the Raptors have a desperate need for more solid point guard play. Organization down the stretch was atrocious. Number two, the Raptors have a desperate need for actual rim protection and rim deterrence. They don't really have it. And perhaps three, you don't really have a fifth starter that you can play down the stretch who doesn't give up defensive assignments and doesn't give up defensive plays. RJ Barrett was pretty useless tonight against length. when he met Rudy Gobert at the rim, when he saw maybe, okay, maybe if he was able to pick on Bones Highland a little bit, okay, cool. Now we're good. But if he got McDaniels on him, it was just nothing. I'm stopped. So really tough. Overall, again, from a Raptors perspective, the Raptors don't usually shoot 48% from three. The Raptors shot 48% from three, 53% from the field, and lost a game. Largely because they had 13 turnovers and conceded 15 points off the turnovers. Minnesota wins some critical elements here. They get 4 more offensive rebounds. They out-rebound the Raptors by 5. You really do lose this game on the margins. Minnesota shot terribly from the free throw line as well. They shot 57% from the field. How do you shoot worse from the field, worse from three, and worse from the free throw line and still win the basketball game? That is some real Houdini shit right there. That's some real fucking Houdini shit right there. I don't even know how the hell they did it. I really don't. They led for as many as 5 points. I believe that 5-point lead came in the first quarter. So it's really atrocious how the Raptors gave this game up. Let's take a look at some of that. This is not going to be a super extensive film breakdown because, quite frankly, I don't want to depress you. But a little bit of what Scotty Barnes did tonight. I loved the verve and energy with which Scotty played tonight. If nothing else, the pace with which he played, the confidence and poise with which he played, it felt mature. By his standards, it felt quite mature. That shot goes in, and this is not the same play. This is a different play, and this is Scotty attacking downhill. This game reminded me a lot of the game against Cleveland, where once again, Scotty going up against length, attacking early, and here this little pull-up jump shot over Rudy Gobert. Earlier, I was in a Raptor space where they said Scotty Barnes is a third option. This don't look like a third option to me, yo. This does not look like a third option to me. Okay, I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Looks like a second option or a first option, and maybe, somebody who, if he becomes a little bit more aggressive and his teammates stop treating him like he's fucking Matisse Thybulle, maybe he can do a little bit more. Here's a little bit more Scotty attacking one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, Jaden McDaniels, getting into his body, drawing the help, dissecting the defense at the perfect possible time. There's no hope that anyone can close out on Mamu here. Just a wide open shot. You want to talk about shot quality? You want to talk about creating good looks for your teammates? These are good looks. Scotty's assists tonight were some of the cleanest 8 assists I've seen all season. Wide open dunk for CMB underneath the basket. Wide open 3 here. Incredible game from Scotty Barnes. And it's just so sad that these games keep getting wasted on these bullshit losses. Truly. I'm not holding him above his teammates. He had his mistakes too, definitely. But man, if you need more than this from Scotty Barnes to win, you don't deserve to win. Here, Jakob Poeltl, one of the Raptors' 13 turnovers here tonight. Now, again, these are mental mistakes. The Raptors are scoring well. They're finally hitting their threes. And look at this pass here. And that's Bones Highland. Bones is notoriously one of the worst defenders in the NBA. In fact, there was some case that, perhaps accurate, that Bones Highland would be going to China because Bones Highland was unplayable defensively. Well, the Raptors certainly didn't know that tonight because they couldn't even pick on him. There were times where Scotty had Bones sealed and they couldn't get him the ball, only to force some bullshit RJ drive. And it just makes you think, is this a point guard with a plan or a point guard with an agenda sometimes, right? Now here, Jamal Shed brings it down. This slip by Mamu. Nice pass. And here, this is just bad idea here by Sandro Mamukelashvili. That is a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. You're not going to get this around him. If nothing else, he knew you were going to do this, and he actually steals this with his elbow. So, and it results in another fast break for them. I don't think they scored on the second one, but regardless, 2 turnovers in very quick succession for the Raptors. I said Scotty Barnes continues to torch Rudy Gobert. You think this was personal for him? Everyone is saying Rudy Gobert going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy Gobert going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Scotty is very, very much on record saying, I want Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, cool. Prove it. I think Scotty Barnes single-handedly tanked Rudy Gobert's defensive analytics today. Every time. Can't guard him. He made a point. Anytime he saw Rudy, his eyes lit up and he just went for it. Now, if Scotty Barnes can do this to Rudy Gobert, who can't he do this to? Why can't you do this to Yusuf Nurkic? If you can do this to Rudy Gobert, you could do this to pretty much 90% of 7-footers. Okay? Because Rudy's a really good defender. Here, Emmanuel quickly off the three. The Minnesota Timberwolves just absolutely caught ball watching here. Julius Randle, Naz Reid, what are you doing allowing Grady Dick to just get a wide open dunk here? And the Raptors are rolling. Things are going really well. The Raptors are up by 4. Things are moving. The ball is moving. It's great. Now here, Emmanuel quickly with a brilliant play to end the half, which Elon Musk has decided Emmanuel quickly cannot be shown tonight. Okay, cool. Moving on. Said, okay, hold on one second here. Said, what do you call a player who has outplayed? Okay, well, first of all, look at this recovery by Scotty. This should be a wide open dunk. Now, I have made this point many times that Scotty has a tendency to save the high quality buckets on his blocks, that a lot of his steals are going to be like wide open dunks and he steals it. This is a wide open 2 points. This is going to be 2 points guaranteed, and Scotty just stuffs it. Beautiful, beautiful play by Scotty Barnes. And I said, what do you call a player who outplays Anthony Edwards on one end, then outdefends Rudy Gobert on the other end? We call him Scotty. Okay. Said ball movement has been elite. How do you get clean threes? Now, this has been a debate that has been raging on Raptors land. Do the Raptors not have good shooters, or do they not generate good shots? I believe it is a combination of both things, because you do have shooters who underperform. I'll make you a bet right now that Ochai Agbaji is not going to shoot 18% from 3 in Brooklyn. I'll bet you something else. They're going to get something for Ochai Agbaji when they eventually move him, whenever that is. Maybe they'll not extend him, but if they do extend him, they will get something of value for that dude within a year or two. And that is because I do not believe that the Raptors generate good shots. And this is a good shot that the Raptors generate precisely because in order to generate good threes, you have to shift the defense. Here, you're going to shift the defense. Good job. Scotty Barnes invites 2 defenders, waits for Jakob Poeltl to back cut the previously mentioned notoriously bad defender, Bones Highland. Jacoby sort of mishandles this. Maybe the pass is a little bit strong, but somehow dances the baseline and manages to get this 3 to Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram handily won his matchup against Jaden McDaniels today. So good job. And once again, you will see the exact same dynamic at play here. Now, it's not going to result in a 3, but it's the same dynamic. You're coming up the left side of the floor. Look at the defense loading up on Brandon Ingram. Now you're seeing Naz Reid. And Naz Reid, the second Naz Reid is starting to commit to Ingram, you see 2 defenders here, and boom, Ingram makes a good pass to Scotty. Scotty, understandably, shooting like 10% from 3 over the last month, decides, I'm just going to beat Julius Randle off the dribble because the low man here is Bones Highland. And Naz Reid's not a good rim protector. That's not Rudy Gobert in there. Scotty got the message. When Rudy Gobert is on the court, I'm going to hit pull-up jump shots all night long. When Rudy Gobert is not on the court, I'm going to dunk the basketball. Scotty had the perfect game plan tonight. And again, you see this crossing from side to side. It's very important. Said Scotty's evolution as a scorer needs to be studied. Watch this, okay? Now, again, 2 points is not 2 points. And you have to sometimes study that 18 points per game or 20 points per game is not always 20 points per game. Some people are seduced by this idea of having a 25-point per game score. I am seduced by the idea of having a dynamic score, someone who can slow down and speed up. Now, changing of pace is something that very few players do well. You see sometimes, young players, they're rushing through everything. They're trying to get to their spot as fast as possible. One of the things that RJ Barrett, actually, ironically, I'm going to pay RJ Barrett a compliment here, does pretty well is he freezes the defense before he goes. And here, Scotty Barnes is going to do just that. Now here, the defense doesn't know what he's doing because his body language looks like he's about to stop. You can see everything in his body looks like he's about to stop. Give me W in the chat if you can sort of see that, right? You can see this is the body language of a person who's about to stop and pop. Now, because he has already stopped and popped, like 4 or 5 times in this game, that is now a threat. You are now a threat to shoot. But just as a defense, once again, with Bones Highland being the low man here, Scotty reprocesses the court, realizes that Rudy Gobert is not there. I'm just going to go through this. And so he stops, but he doesn't stop all the way. He stalls. And this is something that has allowed Luka Doncic to overcome his quote unquote lack of burst. This is something that has allowed Nikola Jokic to become a superstar, is mastering pace. I believe Scotty is a much better athlete than those two. And I believe that if he can command his dribble and his body in a way that those guys can, it's really lights out. There's really nothing you can do. He's so strong. He has really good touch. It's just sometimes he doesn't know when to go and when to stop. There's a bit of a Joey Grahamishness in him sometimes. So it's weird comparing my favorite player to Joey Graham at times. But sometimes Scotty just kind of barrels through. He charges over a defense. He doesn't have that. But what Scotty does have is what Tuomas Isalo defined the other day, which is I'm forgetting the term right now, but I believe he called it proprioceptive. What was he calling it? I think he called it proprioceptive re-imaging. So basically understanding the court. Now, it's definitely a different term, and somebody can correct me in the chat if you have the correct term. But effectively, it was the ability to input data very quickly in terms of sensory knowledge of what's going on around you and then adjust accordingly. He has a pretty good idea of that. Like he can sort of scan the court really quickly and be like, okay, that's where the help is loading up. That's where the gap is. That's where this player is going to be in 2 seconds. This is what Ty Jerome has, right? This is what Anthony Edwards has a little bit of. This is definitely what Shea, Luka. This is what a lot of really great players have. And frankly, this is what makes like really, really good players and good athletes into great athletes. Here, Scotty Barnes, the low man in this situation, Anthony Edwards goes right over him. But Scotty says, you know what? Not in my house. And here he notices the retreating defender. Now, this is what I said. How quickly are you able to input this defender's body? Look at this. Now, here is the mistake. I'll show you the mistake right here, and you'll see it with Scotty. Here, you're slowing down. You see this like change of pace. So Rudy Gobert thinks he has some time to sort of square up. Maybe Scotty's going to stall, right? But this is what Giannis does so well. The second he sees Gobert is a little bit twisted, he's like, I'm going to go inside because he can't recover. And by the time Gobert turns, he's able to put one elbow into Gobert and just get right to the rim. This is perfect. This is exactly what Tuomas Isalo was describing. This is very good. So good job, Scotty Barnes. 118, 117, Toronto Raptors. Okay. Now here comes the play. Actually, 2 plays. And I'm glad that, these are going to show, hopefully. Here we go. So first, this play right here. Anthony Edwards pokes it away from RJ Barrett. Is it a foul? Is it clean? Doesn't matter. Emmanuel Quickley cannot get back in time. Okay. So now, as you can see, before that turnover, we were at the 2-minute and 5-second mark, and the Raptors were up 1. Okay. Now, after that turnover, the Raptors are down. Now, how will Toronto respond to this turnover? RJ Barrett's like, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. I got this. Okay, cool. Here comes Emmanuel Quickley. Now, are you going to give it back to your buddy, or are you going to give it to the 2 best players on your team? Of course you're going to give it to your buddy, because you don't want him to get traded, because you want him to get paid, because you're a fucking, because you're putting your friendship over the team. And anyone who ever watched these 2 in New York would tell you they were inseparable, exactly like this. They're best buddies, and they always want to pass to each other. And this is a problem, because right now, now this is the play that RJ Barrett was so upset about. I want you to tell me whose fault this is. Is this Colin Murray-Boyle's fault or RJ Barrett's fault? Every pass you throw is your responsibility, in my opinion. Okay. But let's be very open-minded here and let's not play favorites and let's not be biased. Is this pass? We're going to slow it down. Is this pass RJ Barrett's fault or CMB's fault? I want to know. This is going to be like RJ Gate. Okay. Let me slow that down and let me push it back. Okay. Now, you'll notice that Scotty Barnes has a tendency to not look at the player he's about to pass to right before he passes to them, right? Because why? Because it makes it too easy for lengthy 4-time, potentially soon to be 5-time defensive players of the year to strip it away. So here, RJ Barrett is clearly about to pass the CMB. He projects it. Then he passes it. Now, Rudy Gobert should technically have no business beating CMB to the basketball. So I hear why RJ's upset. But at the same time, who asked you to bounce it? Who asked you to project it? And here, RJ Barrett is very upset. And here comes Rudy Gobert. And RJ Barrett tries to cut him off. And there's a foul. So I want you to see the reaction after and understand that this is not a bad guy. This is not a bad guy. RJ Barrett is not a bad dude. So regardless of how bad this looks, he is not a bad dude. He is a competitor who is very upset that this might be the last memory that Raptor fans have of him. He's very upset. But good job for Immanuel Quickley kind of playing peacemaker there. Probably saying, how dare you offend my best friend with your sloppy ass inability to, beat Rudy Gobert for that pass. My point is that sucks. That sucks. And RJ was immediately benched after, and I don't disagree with it. And if you thought, hey man, with RJ Barrett off the court, certainly the Raptors won't be turning the ball over anymore, you would be wrong. Because here, Brandon Ingram somehow gets this clean swipe, and I've been making a point of this. This is the highest block percentage of Brandon Ingram's career. So good job. I believe that was BI. It was a little bit fast for me, but yes, that was definitely Brandon Ingram. And here, Jamal Shed. This is clearly you force a commitment. The defense is back. It's 2 guards, okay? You have a 2-on-3 fast break, and Jamal Shed is typically a person that I trust in this situation. Now, why you don't pass the Scotty Barnes here is truly beyond me. Truly beyond me. With the game that Scotty is having, honestly, you know what? I'd pass the Quickley here, if I'm being honest. I'd pass to either one of them, but not neither. And here, this is just really unforced. And unfortunately, Dante DiVincenzo passes this up. Ingram can't recover in time. And Jaden McDaniels dunks this. You can make a case for either pass, man. I'm going to be honest. Like, if you pass that to Scotty, he's getting a dunk. If you pass it to Immanuel Quickley, he's probably getting a 3 and a pretty good look at it. Or, again, there was a play down the stretch, which I didn't capture here, where, RJ Barrett is wide open underneath the basket. They don't throw him the ball. There's a lot of processing errors tonight. The Raptors were not all there tonight. And that is very unfortunate on a night that may actually end up being the last night that this team plays together. Got some super chats here. Yo, enough of this shit, man. RJ, Grady, Jacoby need to go. And there's nonsensical turnovers. My God, man. First of all, let's capitalize God. Second of all, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. Third, why are Jacoby and Grady in this mess? What did they do? 319 gift said Sweet Chen music 1 2 3. Oh, 1 2 3 good. Shout outs to Shawn Michaels. Yeah. TM3 44 points. No way Pels trade him now. Trade Murphy the third. Well, it's a perfect exhibit, right? If you guys want to call in, I'm gonna post the link right here. I actually think there's a really good case to be made that maybe the Toronto Raptors need to invest and give one final chance to Grady and Jacoby, right? Um, Tough 3600 said Jacoby missed open threes. Players miss open threes, man. The duality of men, RJ and Murphy. Well, they do have something in common. Neither one of them are very good defenders. I will tell you that. Feels good, man, said this loss was sad. Yeah, it was. It was. J2 creates a pen. Why don't we want Ja? Well, pull up jump shooting, defense, health, off court issues, contract, which pick one. Pick one of those issues. CP3 needs to report we need dogs up in here. Can our dogs be like, can we not get like dogs who are like, 16, 18 years old? Can we get dogs that are like 7, 6, 5 that have a nice little shelf life? Look, I'm definitely not against the idea of Chris Paul showing up. If Chris Paul shows up, I will be very happy, right? Be very happy. I think Chris Paul is very good for. I think what Chris Paul does better than any player in the NBA is he unearths the problem. Like he has a quality that I try to cultivate myself. And the problem, like sometimes you walk into a room and there's two people and they have a problem, and then there's this third person and he has a problem with this fifth person. And there's sometimes just a natural tendency to just let those problems be. But there's certain personalities that'll just bring them up. They'll just bring them up. They'll just be like, why you got a problem with that? What are you doing? And I like those people because they don't bullshit. Chris Paul is not a bullshit basketball player. He doesn't bullshit around. If you got a problem in practice where you're not a good practice player, you showing up late, Chris Paul's going to call you out. He's not just going to look the other way. Even if he's just there for a year, he has a perfectionist mindset, which is actually very healthy for, I would say young teams to learn how to be professional. Like if you look at the Spurs this year versus last year, they've grown up like 5 years because that dude was there. 5 years. OKC, they grew up like 3 years the year he was there. He has a very calming, disruptive, I know those two things seem like backwards. Calming, disruptive growth effect on teams. We got Gabe calling in. Gabe, what is up, man?
What's up, Pen? I don't really. I just wanted to tell you. So you know how like the Wolves haven't beat us at home since like 2004, right?
Correct.
You want to hear the box plus minus of the lineup, that the starting lineup with the Wolves in 04, like the last time they won? You want to hear the box plus minus of the team then, and then this night, this team, today?
Sure.
All right, Kevin Garnett had a box plus minus plus 23, Sam Cassell plus 28, Latrell Sprewell plus 1, Trenton Hassell plus 27, and Elvin Johnson plus 18.
That's not the box plus minus. That's just the plus minus.
Oh yeah, well, plus minus. And then I'm gonna okay, and then today. Oh shoot.
What's up? Are you still there? Or did we lose
Hello,
you?
can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Wait, what did I say last? What did you hear me say last? Sorry.
I have no idea, man.
Okay, anyway, sorry. So Ant had a box his was -2, Bones Highland was 3, Nasrid was 2, Dante DiVincenzo was 1. To me, that's just surprising because like I feel like we really gave this win away today. Like there's no reason they should have been in this game in the fourth quarter. I feel like this was done, and then I think at the end of the third, I think we kind of gave it up, and then man, we're just so bad at executing in the clutch. And it's like I hate that we gave this game away, man. Like I had a lot of friends that went to this game today, and I'm a really big Scotty believer. Like not a lot of like I'm one of those guys, like I'll talk when everyone else is saying he's trash. I'll be like defending him. So like the fact that he had such a good game today and like everyone really saw it, I feel like this was a chance to put him on the map too, because like it was like he got called for the All-Star. He was doing his thing today, and it's like I feel like we really let him down today. So, it's disappointing.
Yeah, well, you win and lose as a team. What was the date of that game? It was 2004. What?
Let me see. Sorry.
Okay, I got it here.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You.
So it was January 21st.
Jeez.
It was January 21st. Wow. Okay, so let me actually show the box score for that game. That's going to be a fun trip down memory lane.
Because when you see the box score, it's like, damn, like they really blew us out. And then
so this is in 2004, 108-97. So the Timberwolves at the time were 28-12. The Raptors were 20-20. It was Kevin Garnett, Sam Cassell, Latrell Sprewell, Trenton Hassel, and Irvin Johnson. So not the game that you were thinking. Is it?
Oh, was that the wrong? Are you sure? So I was talking. Wait, let me see. Who's the starting? Who'd you say was starting? Kevin Garnett, Sam Cassell, Latrell. Yeah, no, this is the right game.
It is the right game. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So here's the actual box plus minus from that game. Sam Cassell 15.1, Irvin Johnson 5.4, Latrell Sprewell 3.3, Oliver Miller 3.7. We held Kevin Garnett to probably one of his worst games of the year, 0.4. For the Raptors side, though, interestingly enough, let's see their box plus minus here. It was Donyell Marshall, the box plus minus king, 8.5. Lonnie Baxter with 1.4. Mo Pete, 0.5. Trash Chris Bosh at 0.1. Milt Palacio, arguably one of the worst basketball players of all time, negative 0.4. Alvin Boogie Williams at negative 2.9. And Lamont Murray and Jalen Rose with negative 10 and negative 12.3. Yikes. So that is the game.
The Raptors.
That is a trip down memory lane, man.
And you were watching you were covering the Raptors at this time as well?
I was a fan of the Raptors.
That's crazy.
Covering them, not really. I was on forums talking about the Raptors, talking shit to people. But no, I didn't start writing articles until 2007. So,
damn, that's a year before I was born.
That's crazy,
bro. Your I guess writing career or journaling career is like older than me. That's crazy. Yo, I'll say one thing though. In clutch time was like infuriating me. Was like RJ was guarding Ant. Like what the he guarded him for like 2 possessions. Then Bi. I feel like you got to put Scotty on Ant there. No, like even like
Scotty did a very good job of Ant on 100% early in the game. But unfortunately, if you put Scotty on Ant, there is no help on Ant. So you got to think about this not as like a one-on-one thing, but more like a team thing. And I think if you put Scotty on Ant, how small are you to rebound against Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert? This is one of the biggest reasons why I think some people are maybe underestimating how much a guy like Domantas Sabonis could help, or Goga Batadze or Day'Ron Sharpe. It's just like having that size down there allows Scotty to play more of his natural position defensively. Forget offensively, because obviously I think Scotty's a wing or a guard, but defensively, it would allow Scotty to do so much more on the best players in the league. So, we've seen Scotty guard Ant, we've seen Scotty guard Jalen Brunson, we've seen Scotty guard Tyrese Maxey, we've seen him do a great job on all those guys. So, you can't put him in 2 places at once. That's the problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Let's see. I mean, Jamal definitely had like a really bad game, but I feel like we got to kind of give him some slack because like he's been considering he's an undrafted, he's been pretty good for us this season.
45th overall pick.
45th unpicked. So like I feel like we got to cut him some slack. Like, I think he didn't have a good game, but this season he's been pretty good for us. So
absolutely.
RJ hate unreasonable. Crazy. Yeah, I think tonight he was definitely like thinking about that trade deadline, bro. I think he was just like worried about that. I don't know. He didn't look like himself out there, but
he really. So I have to empathize, right? Like this is human. Like there is a human element to being traded, and it's not easy, right? Whatever was promised to RJ by basketball gods, right? Like again, you got to understand this is a guy who saw himself as a de facto star in the NBA. This is a guy who saw himself as a superstar, all-star. He probably, like, a lot of us think, like, I don't know, you play basketball? Did you play
Yeah, I play
basketball growing
ball.
up?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Was there ever a moment in your life at any point where you thought, "I might go to the NBA?"
yeah. Realistically, nah.
Mhm. Unrealistically? Like,
Oh,
when you were
well, like
5
when
years
I
old and you
okay, yeah,
first
like
shot a basketball, you
yeah,
were
yeah,
like
definitely. Oh, yeah, like everyone
how
was
tall
like,
are you?
yeah. Oh, I'm 6'2".
6'2", so you coulda made it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So, I'm thinking, like, a lot of us have that dream of, like, one day I'll
Yeah.
make it. Some of us get really close. Some of us play Division I basketball. Some of us play high level high school. We play OFSA. We might go to them to tournaments. We might be on a travel team. We might have a 48-point game at a tournament, against a really good ranked player. We might even play AAU basketball. Some of us get to D2, D1. We might have a big game in D1. Again, a lot of guys, right? Some of us get closer than others. What I'm saying, RJ got like up until like 18 or 19 years old. RJ is the closest thing to a surefire, like this guy's going to be an all-star in the NBA as you can get.
Mm.
Played at Duke, number one player in the country, Revered, 5-star recruit, hyped to hell, compared to Kobe Bryant. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is what Darren Peterson's life is like right now. So
Now
to
that
people who were not there, you don't understand. But like this guy was the face of Canada basketball before Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. If you tried to tell someone in 2018 or 2019 that Shea was going to be better than RJ, they would have told you you're crazy. And RJ is one of those rare cases where he can't even look at himself and be like, I didn't work hard enough, because he works really hard,
no, he definitely
right?
does.
It's not like he's not trying. You know what I mean? Like there are certain guys, like the Eddie Currys of the world, where they can sit on a podcast right now, or the Greg Odens of the world, the Zion Williamsons of the world. Zion, 10 years from now, he'll sit on a podcast and be like, bro, I could have been great if I, didn't fuck porn stars and, didn't eat so much gumbo
Yeah, wasn't
and,
obese.
exactly. Greg Oden, he might be able to sit there on a podcast 15 years from now and be like, I would have been the next great center, but one of my legs was longer than the other and I always had injuries. Some people might just be like, yo, I might have, I might have been great if I just worked harder. RJ can't even do that. So I do feel bad. I do feel kind of bad. What do you say if you're RJ Barrett? How do you explain your lack of superstardom in this league? How do you explain your lack of prominence in this league? How do you explain being considered a toxic asset? How do you explain that everyone wants to trade you? How do you explain that the Kings don't even want you for a bloated contract like DeMontis Sabonis? How do you explain that? How do you reconcile that? Your brain would be fucked up, man. So it's just like, it's really weird. It's not like Grady and Jacoby, where it's like, yeah, you were a 5-star recruit. Yeah, you were, hyped to hell in your state, but no one ever really saw you as Kobe. Now, people saw this guy as Kobe. And so it's like, to me, it's like, no wonder he does some of the shit that he does on the court, because it's just like, this shit's been downloaded into him. Everyone's been telling him his whole life that he's supposed to be this player. You got super fans, even in this Raptor fan base. Like, I'm sure some of your friends who went to do some of your friends think
Bro,
RJ's
some of
better
my
than
friends
Scotty?
went to his training camp and met him, like, so, like, yeah, I get it, bro. The RJ Barrett hype is real. Like, he's definitely, like, I know in Canada for sure, like, Maple Mamba, like, he's a big thing here. So I get what you're saying, but, like, his trade value at this point, like, after this game,
Mhm.
it definitely went down a little bit. Like, it definitely went down, you think, no? Like, who's really gonna trade for him? Like, do you think we could trade? Like, at this point, I feel like his value's so low. So, like, what would we even get for him? Like,
I think it's perfectly explainable. Like, if you're a team that wanted him yesterday, there's no way that you're watching this one game and you'd be like, oh, never mind.
well, yeah,
Obviously, if he goes off for 40 tonight, maybe you feel a little bit better
yeah,
about it, because just optically you can sell it a little bit better to your fans. But if you're the Raptors and your trade negotiation breaks down because RJ Barrett threw this game in the fourth quarter, like I promise you, he didn't do it on purpose.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, man, thanks a lot for calling in. Appreciate
No
you, and
problem.
I hope your friends get a refund on this game. All right,
Yeah, have a
peace,
good
man.
night, Ben.
See ya. 905 Saga Nation, what is up? What could be your inclinations? Hello, hello. 905 Saga Nation, what's up, man? Okay, we move on. Coach Mo, what is up?
That was That what an ending, you know,
Mm.
and very poetic at just before the trade deadline. You know, it's like an omen almost.
Mm.
Like it's almost like after that game, Bobby got to do something, which kind of scares me. But you know, watching the end of that game, I just had to. I needed the exact number on how
Mhm.
much quickly RJ and BI make combined. You know what it is?
You're bumping your mic a little bit.
Sorry. You
Yep.
know what it is?
No. Okay, say those three names again quickly.
Quickly, Barrett, and
32.5,
Ingram.
27, 39. Right?
Yep.
Damn.
It's basically a million shy of 100.
$99 million.
It's 98.9, basically. Now, ask yourself this. What team in the NBA would pay those three players basically 100 million?
Well, obviously nobody.
Nobody. And watching the end of that game, it's like you just wanted the ball in Scotty's hands. I just wanted, like, just run it through him, please. There was a drought with him, and then the first time he got the ball while the ship was sinking, he got Mamu a wide open three. Somebody typed in Giannis to the Wolves. I got to check that.
The Orlando Magic are trading Tyus Jones to the Charlotte Hornets for cash considerations. The Hornets also received 2 second-round picks from the Magic in this deal, lifting them to 11 first-rounders and 14 second-rounders over the next 7 years. The trade gets Orlando out of the luxury tax. Okay.
Who did the Magic trade?
Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones. Okay.
Damn.
You know what's interesting? That Kobe White trade, there were moments last year that Kobe White was basically like an all-star. Wasn't there a month he was basically an all-star?
Yeah.
He was going crazy, right?
Yeah, he was.
And I don't know if you can say he's better than Quickly, but you couldn't tell me he wasn't last year. Last year you couldn't tell me he wasn't.
Yeah, but he's a much worse defender.
Yeah. But
so even when like things are going really well for Kobe White, he's still a really bad defender.
But in terms of he's the worst defender. But in terms of self-creation, he's better. In terms of scoring for himself, he's a lot better, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not going to deny that.
But my point is, the Bulls said, yeah, we're going to dump you. And you're seeing, Jaden Ivey just get dumped, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the contracts we hand out to comparable level players, whether you think RJ's better than that guy or IQ's better than, they're all in the same realm. They swim in the same pool, basically, right?
Yeah.
And it just highlights the difference. Like Naz Reid is really good. Do you see the contract he has?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't sustainable what we're doing. It's and you said it best. You make mistakes and then you try to correct it with another mistake. Right? I don't know, man. I'm scared for tomorrow, dog.
AG, you said Giannis to the Wolves? Yo, your audio bugging, bro. Audio is sound like you're underwater.
It sounds like he's in Cybertron. Bro, he sounds like he's with Megatron and Cybertron.
Oh my God. AG. Damn. He private messages. He said Giannis to the Wolves.
From Cybertron.
Oh my God. WYSO. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up? AG, your audio good now?
Test. Oh, it's good.
Good.
You go ahead.
Good. You're good. You're good. We're gonna have a little bit of a panel style discussion up here. Y'all want to talk basketball? We can talk basketball. I need to go grab some water, but y'all go ahead.
I was gonna say we should ban the trolls in the chat because I got completely like duped by some dude. But honestly, I wanted to say earlier, like Rob was talking about how RJ's mentality growing up and all this was he was the guy, blah blah blah. Well, bro, I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to quote The Rock, but it doesn't matter what you think. All right, you're not that guy.
Yeah.
You're just delusional. I mean, at the end of the day, you're a role player. You're supposed to role. And I don't know. I'm a realist. You know, like, sounds like
Can't hear Mike.
Your mic is messed up again. It sounds like you're far away from it.
really? Look at my speakers on my laptop.
I think it's using a different one.
Yeah, Mike's cooked.
Damn, I wanted to know what he had to say. Yeah, I don't blame RJ. I mean, shit, it's a lot of stuff on his mind right now, and it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, it was bad. Like at some point, you got to be
It was
like,
brutal.
okay, today.
The back-to-back turnovers was really hard to watch.
Yeah, that wasn't great. And then he like kind of yelled at the Rook, which
At
that
CMB, yeah,
that wasn't a good look. Like if you're having a bad game and it's just not going for you, just take a back seat. 'Cause he's not good enough to force it.
Yeah, that's not wrong, but I get it. Like, even if you're in that situation, it's just like I can only imagine the amount of pressure he has, and his like, if everything he wants is in this city, and if it's not working out, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like I get the frustration for sure. It sucks that it impacted the game tonight, and we lost because of it. But
What happened to AG?
his mic was good for a second, then he just like faded out, and he hasn't run back.
Damn. It was just funny because AG was like, yo, we gotta ban the trolls in the chat. I was just like, this is like so much like RJ blaming CMB for that turnover.
Well, who's
It's
that?
exactly the same thing.
Who's that RJ fan that you banned?
Shannon.
Yeah, you did him a favor tonight.
Yo. That fan.
He would not have liked that.
Shannon. Damn, man, that fan, bro.
Shannon
Shannon talks mad shit about me now in all other chats now. It's really funny, actually.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Shannon's
pouring a tall glass tonight, and
drink some water, bro.
He might be rooting for the Kings by Friday. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know, man. RJ, he's just so predictable. Like any halfway decent defender with size can stop him because he doesn't have a 3-ball, really. He doesn't have a mid-range game. He's going to the rim. And he's not going right.
Yeah. So here's something that I wanna address. It's the double standard, right? So listen, like, did we see how compassionately Jack Armstrong covered up for RJ Barrett tonight?
Yes. He brought it up like multiple times.
And then he said Scotty should have went to the rim and been more aggressive instead of passing to the open Mamu.
Every single turnover that Scotty, every turnover that Scotty has, it's like this slanderous, like, oh, we need to be better, can't be being so careless. But with RJ, it's like, oh, it's so unfortunate for RJ. It's like, yo, what are we doing here?
There's a double standard for sure.
There is a massive bias and a double standard, and I want to be clear about something. If you are an honest, empathetic human being, the double standard, the kid glove should be for the younger player, for the most part. I am way kinder to mistakes that Grady and Jacoby make than I am to mistakes that Emmanuel quickly makes because they're younger. I am not going to rip Jamal Shead apart because he's a second-year guard. I'm not going to hold him to the same standard. I'm not. But Scotty Barnes, like, bro, even as a rookie, Jack was like ripping this dude. Every mistake he made, he's got to be mature. He's got to be. If Scotty Barnes had yelled at CMB for a turnover that he made, Jack would be up there being like, oh, you got to be a better leader than that. But when it's RJ Barrett, oh, you really feel for the guy. He must be going through it tonight. It's like, shut up, bro. Stop it. AG, what's up, man? Third time's a charm?
I hope so. Is it good?
Yeah, you good so far.
Fucking hell. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, Jack Armstrong's had it out for Scotty from the beginning. I don't know what his issue is. Like, little sly remarks ever since his rookie season. I think it's all because, he went after the media darling, Fred VanVleet, right? We all know that. So But honestly, Rob, I wanted to contest with a point you made earlier. I don't know if it was clear earlier when I was speaking, but
Okay.
you were talking about how RJ is like grown up. He was the guy. So in his mindset, it's like hard for him to change his mentality. I'm sorry, man, but I don't care. Like, bro,
I think
you're not that guy.
I think you misunderstood my point a little bit there.
No, I did, but I understood your point, but it's just maybe I didn't say it properly. Probably. What I'm saying is,
I'm not empathizing with the fact that he's doing that. I'm saying like he doesn't have a reason not to succeed. He doesn't have an excuse not to succeed like everybody else, right? It's not so easy. Like I want you to think about it from the perspective of like, I don't know, like a player like Scalabrine, right? Scalabrine was also hyped. Anthony Randolph was also hyped. There's a lot of players in the league that have been hyped at an early age because people believed in them, but everyone didn't believe in them. RJ Barrett saw the highlights. He saw the headlines. He saw the ESPN analysts, the scouts. Everybody was telling him that he was going to be this dude. So at that point, you got to believe it, right? Everyone who knows about basketball is telling you that you're going to be a superstar. And you come to the NBA and you're not. And you work harder and you're still not. And you work harder and you're still not. And maybe you think to yourself at that point, I'm just not in a good situation in New York. Maybe I'm not happy. I'm kind of pressing a little bit. So you come to Toronto and you're like, okay, I'm home. Things are going to go well here. We're going to win. And from day one, it's like the Raptors are looking to move off of RJ Barrett. He's not a long-term solution. So you kind of get what I'm saying. I'm not excusing the lack of performance. I'm not excusing the lack of defense. I'm just saying for a guy who tries this hard and was this hyped, it's really hard mentally to understand why is what I'm doing not working.
well, yeah, I agree, but you know,
Do you see my point though?
I see your point. It's you know, it's definitely psychologically it would be taxing on someone, right? 100%. But at the end of the day, he's a professional. He's a professional athlete, and the problem is this organization doesn't have anybody that's holding him accountable. I don't think they are. I don't think, because
he is harder on himself than anybody else. You can see it after every miss. He is beating himself up after, you know, like the thing is that I've seen a lot of lazy players in my life. I've seen a lot of guys who don't care about defense, who, you know, they don't get back, they don't try. RJ tries. RJ has a high motor. RJ tries on defense.
I'm not saying he doesn't try that, Rob.
But that's what I'm saying. Like what I'm saying is, what do you want? Like, if you were RJ Barrett, like just to put yourself in his shoes for a second, you go to your trainer this offseason. What do you say? What does he say? What do you say?
What I would say, obviously, this is like looking at it from a 20,000 foot perspective, but like I would be smart enough to recognize I'm not that guy, and I would key in on a role and on a specific skill set.
And he has.
Yeah, but come on. I mean,
but not come on. He has changed his game completely in Toronto. He's played off the ball. They don't run a single play for him. This is not the RJ Barrett that I saw at Montverde at all. This is not that dude. This is a guy who has completely changed his game, and it still doesn't result in forever home RJ.
He should be coming off the bench. I would adjust to that role. Personally,
you think he was more on ball today than past couple of weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Because I think him and IQ kind of have a similar problem. Is when they're on the ball too much, they get themselves in trouble. So you almost have to save them from themselves, right? And then the problem lies in you have two guys combined making $60 million that you kind of have to hide off ball.
Right.
That can't work.
Exactly.
You're scared of their decision making, right? You're scared of their on-ball creation. You're scared of their limitations. It doesn't make sense to pay them both. One has to go. To me, preferably both go, but at the very least, one has to go.
Real quick, let me interject real quick, Rob. And Coach Mo, that's a great point you made. I think that's the point that I was trying to make. I didn't make it as clearly as you did. You can't have two guys like RJ and IQ in important starting positions on this team making that type of money. I guess that's the main point that I wanted to make. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone saying RJ is low IQ. I completely disagree. I don't think he's low IQ. I think he's a high IQ basketball player.
I wouldn't equate the tunnel vision he gets sometimes to low IQ. I think that's a different thing.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, look, I have a lot of empathy. I do. I feel really bad. I want this guy to be better than he is, but I acknowledge that he's not. I acknowledge that there are limitations to, like, again, this is just a game of physics. It's not that difficult to understand why RJ Barrett struggles. His jump shot is mechanically not designed for pull-up jump shooting. You can see it. His form does not lend itself to a smooth release off the move, which means he's like a set shot maker. That makes sense? It's like a big, like Sam Perkins. Okay, Sam Perkins could shoot, but he couldn't dribble and then pull up and shoot. There's certain shots. It's the same thing with Emmanuel Quickley. I wish Emmanuel Quickley had a one-form, one-shot release that wasn't low and that could come off smooth. It would change everything for him. But he doesn't have that. That's not his shot. So there are physical limitations to what you can do. The same thing with RJ Barrett. It's not that he doesn't want to do, but he doesn't want it. He doesn't not want to try well on defense. His hips cannot move. His arms cannot extend beyond the limits of God-given talent, you know? So I think RJ has made everything of himself that he could. That may sound like a very depressing outlook, but I think it's true. I think he is the best version of whatever he could be. And that player is basically a $15 million rotation player. It's not a star. It's not an all-star. It's not a superstar. It's not all NBA. It's not Kobe Bryant. That ain't it. Someone fucked up.
Okay, I have a question.
Mhm.
You think RJ? You think Quickly's a better player than RJ?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't?
Like on 5-on-5 basketball, yeah, I think Quickly's better. Like there's a more defined and easy way to fit Quickly in.
Yeah, because you can shoot.
Yes.
And
On
he's a
paper,
better-
he's
he's
way
a
more
better-
valuable to our
He's a
team
better
than
defender
Quickly.
too. I think RJ instinctively is a higher IQ basketball player, and that's where the IQ thing comes in. If I could put RJ's brain into Emmanuel Quickley's skill set, you would have a great point guard, like a great scoring guard. Unfortunately, with RJ, it's physical limitations, lateral quickness, lack of length. With Quickley, it's partially height, partially shot release, partially processing speed and play making feel, right? These are both incredibly flawed basketball players, incomplete basketball players. But it's like, okay, who's not an incomplete basketball player? Naz Reid has weaknesses. You know, Scotty has weaknesses, tremendous weaknesses, right? I wish Scotty can get 2 feet in the paint as easily as RJ does. But the difference is when Scotty goes up, there's a 7'4" wingspan there and broad shoulders and 6'9" and force and power and vertical. He is an above the rim finisher. When people compare Scotty Barnes to, you know, Jonathan Mobo or CMB, it's because they don't understand what an above the rim finisher versus a below the rim finisher is. When Sam Vecini says Scotty Barnes is a 0-level scorer, or when people try right now to say that AJ DeBonsa, do y'all remember? I mean, I'm going to take a moment to pat myself on the back here. Do y'all remember last year when we were talking about Cooper Flag? Do y'all remember how many people tried to compare him to Andre Kirilenko? Anyone remember that comparison? Very frequent. Andre Kirilenko, he's like Andre Kirilenko.
Yeah.
And I said, nah, man,
Yeah.
this is like Kawhi Leonard. So he just became like the youngest player ever in NBA history to score, I think, 49 points. And it's precisely because people don't have an appreciation for what an above the rim finisher at 6'9" can do in the NBA with more space than he had in college. People went over and over and over on that one play where he turned the ball over. I can't even remember against who, but it was like early in his freshman season, and he gets trapped in the corner and he turns it over, and people are like, oh, he's never going to be a good scorer. Like, you don't know what you're looking at. And it's the same thing with AJ DeBonsa. People looked at that game against Kansas the other day, and he struggled in the first half to find space, and people are like, oh, well, I guess Darren Peterson's going to be way better. I don't know. Maybe Darren Peterson is going to be better. AJ is going to be an all-star, though. There is when you're 6'9", 6'10", with long strides, the NBA is your friend. When you're 6'5", 6'6", with short strides and small arms and not a lot of vertical burst, and you're very left-hand dominant, and you're below the rim finisher, and you struggle to go to the other hand, and you have a kind of flat shot, the NBA is not your friend. College is your friend. RJ Barrett peaked in high school. That is something that he is going to have to come to terms with at some point. He is never going to be that player in the NBA. It is never going to happen. There is no miracle drug. There is nothing that is going to turn RJ Barrett into the player that people think he is. And when I've battled people online and, gotten into fights with people about RJ versus Scotty, this is what I'm arguing. I'm arguing archetypes. I'm arguing upside. I'm arguing above the rim versus below the rim finishing. It has to matter. Because when Jaden McDaniels puts his arms up, RJ Barrett sees nothing. When Scotty gets double teamed, he still sees everything. It's the same thing with Brandon Ingram, actually. There's just such a huge gap here, and I think the Raptors can do a much better job of getting Ingram into better spots. And, I was thinking about this a lot today. I was in Twitter Spaces today. How would y'all feel about Domantas Sabonis on this team if we didn't have to give up a first-round pick? But not in place of Jakob Poeltl, alongside Jakob Poeltl.
Okay, what else goes along with him?
Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Emmanuel Quickley.
No, I mean, it's a Jakob.
RJ, Brady, CP3, trade exception, filler. Whatever filler you need to throw in. Could be Mobo, could be Garrett Temple, whatever.
And Sabonis's contract, the last year of Sabonis's contract, is that the same year $5 million is guaranteed for Jakob?
No, Sabonis has 3 more years left on his deal.
And how many years away is the Jakob $5 million guarantee?
So Jakob Poeltl is $20 million this year, $20 million next year. The year after next, it is $27 million. The year after that is $29 million.
Give me the trade.
The year after that is 27, and 5 is guaranteed.
I'll take the trade. I don't know why that guy has that many years left.
I would still try to trade Poeltl. I don't like the idea of putting Sabonis and Poeltl on the floor together.
Let me give you my rationale for why it would work. Scotty's best stretch of basketball came playing alongside Pascal, OG, and Jakob as the front line. Dennis Schroeder was the point guard. He was the shooting guard. He made an all-star team. It is the only 35 to 40 game stretch where he has sustained like a 5.6 to 6.0 box plus minus. It is the only 40-ish game sample where he has of great shooting, where he was like 39% from 3. So the way I see it, I think Scotty's a wing. And I think having 2 bigs forces him into a perimeter spot. Now I'm looking at this more from the perspective of size is back in the NBA. A lot of teams go multiple bigs. Teams that have been really big have had a lot of success. The OKC Thunder start multiple bigs, multiple 7-footers. The Houston Rockets, who are very space starved, found a way to be a top 5 offense this year, despite having guys who couldn't make jump shots, like Amen Thompson. Scotty is certainly a better jump shooter than Amen Thompson. They don't have a single player who has the off-ball gravity of a combined Emmanuel Quickley and Brandon Ingram. And I just think Brandon Ingram's a better offensive player than OG. Domantas Sabonis is an underrated shooter. Okay, here's a fun fact. Over the last 3 years, what do you think Domantas Sabonis averages from 3? Without checking. Don't check.
It was like 34%, isn't it?
Any other guesses?
I do know he takes
very few threes, but that is largely by design.
Of course. He's not a good 3-point shooter. Okay. But again, we're comparing him to Jakob, so basically anything is better.
Okay, but again, 3 years, what do you think he averages? And by the way, it is over an attempt per game in all 3 years.
Yeah, it's under 2, though. I know for a fact it's under 2.
Yes.
But since you're asking this, it's probably high. Shockingly high. I'd say 38.
Okay. It's a good guess. So over from 2023 to 2025, he has shot, are you ready for this? 39.6% from three. It's a 40% three-point shooter.
Okay,
Now, what if you up that volume?
Yeah, to Nas Reed numbers.
Well,
then the percentage goes down.
not necessarily. I mean,
It's a set shot, and he only shoots it when they basically dare him. I've seen his threes.
okay.
Ain't nobody
I'm
around.
curious to see the diet. Is it like corners only or what?
No, it's a lot of above the break stuff.
They're CMB
Okay.
threes.
Yes, they are. But it is predictable and it is across 3 years. One, he is a great screen setter. Number two, compared to Jakob Poeltl, he is a much better passer.
Yes.
Number three, he is a better rebounder than Jakob Poeltl.
Yes.
Number four, with Jakob Poeltl, which by the way, the Kings for years have been trying to put a center next to him or a rim protector next to him or some defense next to him. Scotty BI and Jakob Poeltl next to Domantas Sabonis gives him the shell that he never had in Sacramento. So my view on this is here's the wonderful question that I would ask if I'm the Raptors. If Sabonis and Yak are on the court and BI is on the court, that's three guys who are like 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", 6'7" feet. Huge guys. Who's guarding Scotty? You guarding Scotty or BI with a small?
Why is Yak and Sabonis in this scenario?
Well, I would imagine that Sabonis is above the break. That Yak would be in the dunker.
How do
That
we get
Scotty and
Sabonis?
BI would be in the corner.
He means trade. He means trade wise. Like, who are we trading to get him if we're not giving up Poeltl?
RJ, Grady, as I mentioned, trade exception, CP3.
Hold on. You're telling me we're going to have a roster with the Quickly contract, the Jakob Poeltl contract, the Brandon Ingram contract, and the Sabonis contract.
Yes.
That part of it is hard.
Wow, we're Kings. We're Kings East.
No, you're not the Kings East because the Kings wish they had Scotty Barnes.
Okay. My goodness.
I just like how he's a dog on the glass.
Okay. I'll make it easier for you.
Personally.
That-
What if
those
what if you
contracts
trade quickly in this deal and you get back Malik Monk?
Okay, we need some
Yeah, I do that in a
contractual
heartbeat.
relief here. Good God.
Okay. So RJ and quickly, the best buds. Sacramento gives up Domantas Sabonis and Malik Monk. It's a 60 for 60 deal. 60 million out, 60 million in pretty much. Do you do it? Because I'm
And
telling
then
you right
Scotty
now,
is point guard.
Scotty plays point. Malik plays the two. Every single player on the court is a plus 5 playmaker.
Yeah. And Sabonis for a big has great hands. Great hands.
He does have great hands. He's also extremely physical. And compared to RJ Barrett and Grady Dick, he is a considerably better defender.
And a great finisher on the rim. Like he has a very lethal hook shot.
Bingo.
Very physical. He dips that shoulder into you. It doesn't even matter if you're bigger than him because most centers are bigger than him, and he gets his shot off.
That's
Like,
my point.
He's very good with leverage.
That's my point. I think the Raptors could pull this off, man.
Yeah, I have very mixed feelings about it, but you've definitely sold me on it
But-
to some degree.
But he doesn't have a good contract. Now, the benefit of his contract is it's shorter. And he's
Considerably shorter.
he's actually an all-star, all-NBA level player when he's right. So unlike the Quickly contract or the potential RJ contract looming and the Jakob, Sabonis can actually live up to that deal. Like there's a world where because at one point he was kind of worth it. So,
Last year, he was borderline worth it.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like guys like Garland and Morant, these guys got contracts when they were worth that money, right? So you can be like, we can rehab it, and he can be this player one day. Theoretically, he can do it. It's in him. Whereas there's guys on our team where they're not hitting that number. They're just not that player, and it is what it is. So at least you can. There's solace in that.
And speaking of Garland, I could not believe his contract. I had no idea it was ascending up to 45 million in his final year.
Well, most contracts do ascend. That's what makes Quickly's contract so rare.
It's because it's flat. Yeah.
It's flat. I mean, there are contracts like Denny Avdia which actually go down.
But again, Danny Avdia never made an All-Star team.
Well, he did now.
Yeah, but he never made the accolades when that contract was handed out. And where was Darius Garland when that contract was handed out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Up and coming Cavs team, him and Mobley and Allen of the future. Like the contract was solid the time it was signed. But a lot of changes in like 2 years.
I do not think he's ever going to be worth 45 million like going forward, but we'll see.
Okay, let's see here.
See John Morant's contract? Remember,
Okay.
remember Blake Griffin's contract? He signed it, and then boom. Oh, my God.
There's your trade. DeMontis Sabonis, Malik Monk, Drew Eubanks for Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett.
They never do that. What else are we giving them?
Why not?
I think they would do it. They're desperate for a point guard.
You
get way younger. Malik is older. Drew is a minimum contract. You get way younger. You get two young players who've played together. This is reasonable.
You really think they would do that?
They really want RJ Barrett. They don't want Jakob Poeltl. The pick was all about Jakob Poeltl, right? What? Tough saying. Breaking: the Golden State Warriors are trading Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's real. I just saw the Shams post.
What the hell, dude?
Wow. Crazy. So Jonathan Kuminga was worth that little, huh? Wow.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised by that.
Why are we always on the sidelines of nice plays like this? Like this.
Who did you want? Kuminga?
Yeah.
Bro, you don't want Kuminga because he's going to want another contract.
I mean, he's on the books for 2 more years, or at least 1 more year after this year.
Team option. Does a team option transfer to the new team?
Yep.
Okay.
A healthy Porzingis is exactly the kind of center that we need.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah,
know how
but he's
realistic
not.
that
This
everyone
takes
is.
Golden State out of the Giannis sweepstakes, no? Or are they still in?
I would assume this takes them out of it. I mean, look, we're seeing a lot of dominoes drop right now, right? And I think a lot of the dominoes that are dropping are basically teams that were in the Giannis sweepstakes but are now finding out that Milwaukee is closing the door on them, either because Milwaukee is intending to not trade Giannis, period, or because maybe Milwaukee is just like, okay, we're no longer talking to you. Atlanta was a team that was potentially in the Giannis, thing, but, it's going to take Dyson Daniels plus a boatload of picks, including the pick that I believe is owed from New Orleans. And, I don't think people are acknowledging completely fairly. New Orleans is so awful. Atlanta's about to get like a top 5 pick, to add to Jalen Johnson and Jonathan Kuminga and Dyson Daniels. Like there's something up here for sure. So, Kristaps Porzingis, if healthy, I think this is a great move for them. Great move. I mean, if he can just be healthy in the playoffs, shit, that's amazing. He's one of the, when healthy, one of the 5 best centers in the league, easily.
Rob, I think today, I was ripping on Bobby, right? Which I always do. But I think what he did was some savvy little cap work. I really do. I think they're trying to bring in a bigger contract. And honestly, you guys were talking about Sabonis. At first, I kind of scoffed, but thinking about it, honestly, the number one thing that I would like that he brings is his rebounding, right? Like he is an absolute dog on the glass. So at least from that perspective, and he's a pretty decent like spot up shooter if you give him if you give him a 3, like an open shot. So
exactly
from that perspective, he helps a lot. I don't know how the spacing works in the paint, especially, but his rebounding is so valuable because we just get abused whenever we face teams with good bigs. So I think he would help because he's a strong rebounder. It's very important. Also, that trade that you proposed with Eubanks and Monk, I mean, that is just highway robbery, but for the Raptors. But
how is it highway robbery? You are trading a pretty good player and you're getting a very expensive player back. I would argue Emmanuel Quickley is a good player, yo.
Come on, man.
I don't think you're acknowledging that there's a risk with Domantas Sabonis as well. He's played 14 games this year. He's been very injured. He is close to 30. You're trading the youngest players in the deal, and they're both on reasonable contracts in terms of length. Now, I'm not going to just debate here that they're both a little bit overpaid, but it's not like Domantas Sabonis is not overpaid. Domantas Sabonis is definitely overpaid. I think he's overpaid.
I'll take Sabonis with one arm over IQ right now, to be honest. I hate IQ.
Yeah, but why do you hate IQ? You're being emotional here. I think you're being emotional.
No, I'm not. I
you
swear
don't think you're being emotional?
No, a little bit. I'm a little buzzed. But honestly, no, it's because, bro, like, listen, man. He's just also, just to go back a little bit, you guys were saying how he's better than RJ. I'm not convinced. I mean, it depends on the team and the role he's given. Like,
if IQ is off ball, he is way better than RJ.
Yes,
yeah, but
exactly. On ball, RJ is better.
Yeah.
Off ball, quickly is better.
Thank you.
And since neither should ever be on ball, you get my point?
Yeah.
Emmanuel Quickly is better. So if Emmanuel Quickly was on a team with, let's just say, I don't know, Anthony Edwards, let's just say Jalen Brunson, let's just say Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, you're going to see like the best version of him. I think the Raptors know deep down that they don't have the right guard combination for him or the right player combination. Now, maybe there was some expectation and hope that Scotty would ascend and Brandon Ingram would come here and Quickly would just naturally move off the ball. But unfortunately, Ingram's handle is kind of wonky. Scotty's shot is kind of wonky. It kind of leads to a situation where you just don't have the player that forces him off the ball. And the one player who actually forces him off the ball is hilariously bad offensively, which is Jamal Shed. So if you consider the gaps in Jamal Shed's game, and let's just be honest, love Jamal Shed, a lot of gaps in his game. Imagine if instead of Jamal Shed, you had Peyton Pritchard. Now Emmanuel Quickly playing off of Peyton Pritchard. You don't need a superstar. You just need a guy who can dribble, pass, and shoot.
Here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking the $32.5 million player to play off the $10 million player.
Yeah, just like if I was the Warriors, I was asking Steph Curry to play off of Draymond Green.
Not the same way.
Not the same, dude.
I don't know. I think IQ got a reality check when he was getting benched for Shed. Like, I think he's okay being a starter, being off ball to a $10 million point guard.
Here's my issue, because Quickly is no longer a player; he's a contract, and that's on Bobby. What you want him to do, you can get somebody a lot cheaper to do what you're asking him to do. Right?
I agree with that, bro. 100%. He's way too pricey.
Yeah, you're basically asking him to be Duncan Robinson plus.
No.
I think Anthony Simons with some decent defense.
On the ball.
I'm not asking him to be Duncan Robinson. I'm asking him to be Jason Terry.
Jason Terry's better on ball.
Someone's saying Raptors trade. The Raptors made a trade?
Oh my God. Please be good.
I don't see anything yet.
We got our center. What are they talking about?
Shams didn't post anything.
Well,
yes, we got Trayce Jackson-Davis.
We gave up. We created space for that. We gave up a second pick for Trey Jackson-Davis.
Yeah, we did.
For a 2026 second round pick via the Lakers.
Oh, I got no problem with this. I like Trayce.
Hey, this kid's a good young center, oh. Okay. Decent.
We had a 2026 Lakers second rounder?
Yeah, from the Davion Mitchell trade. So you basically traded Davion Mitchell for Trayce Jackson-Davis. That's a win. Okay. I really like this move a lot. This is a very smart move. Someone's saying we're so ghetto. Nah, bro. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to understand what Trayce is. Okay. Let me pull up. Let me pull something up real quick. Okay, so this is just take a brief look. The timing of this sucks, bro, because like I really got some shit to do, and I don't want to pay my girlfriend $200 right now because I promised I would do this shit by like 1 a.m. But now I'm gonna have to pay her because I got to be up here and explain this. But okay, so Trayce per 100 possessions, 2.6 blocks, so decent rim protection there. The box plus minus very solid on his career. 3 years into his NBA career, still very young. We're talking 1.7 box plus minus, 2.3 value over replacement. Really high free throw rate, really good rebounder, really decent passer, not very turnover prone. There's nothing to hate here. Super low usage. Like, really good player. I don't know what to tell you, man. If you are playing 66, 62, and now 36 games for the Golden State Warriors and Steve Kerr in a lineup where Jonathan Kuminga is catching DMP CDs, this is good. This is decent.
Does he have just like a nice vertical and big
No,
wingspan? Because he's only 6'9".
Doesn't matter.
Yo, I just saw a highlight clip of him driving
Oh.
left on Victor Wembanyama and dunking on him last year. Oh my goodness. Hey, he's got some athleticism to him. I like it. It's decent.
He's very coordinated. No, I really like him. In terms of wingspan, 7'1", 7'1" wingspan, 6'9", 7'1" wingspan, solid size for a guard, solid size for a big man. I really like him. I'm gonna be honest. I like this a lot. He's 26. I think he's 25 years old. He's almost 26 in 2 weeks. He's 26. Yeah.
He's no Dayron Sharp, but I'm okay with it.
Do you know who Sonny is?
Okay, but here's my question.
Hold on. Answer the question. Do you know who Sonny is?
Sonny who?
Do you know whose son he is?
Oh, whose son he is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dale Davis.
Yep. Pretty cool.
Looks like nothing like him.
That explains the explosiveness. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I'm fine with Trayce Jackson-Davis. Okay, but why go 3 to 4 million under the tax for this?
This guy is definitely worth a second round pick, dude.
No,
I'm
I'm not talking about that. I'm like, did we need to go under that much to sign him?
No.
Okay, so theoretically, they did all that for something more potentially.
Potentially, but we don't know if
It fell through or something.
yeah. So let's just check this out for a second. So the Raptors were able to just eat this contract. Let's just see what this contract was. Where is it? So he makes 2.2. So he basically makes the same amount as so we are still technically about 2 million under the luxury tax after this move, which means we can do another one of these if we really want to. This is a great trade. I don't know. Anyone who's complaining right now, you're absolutely mental. He is such a better player. Like, okay, let me put it this way. He is like the 7th best player on your team right now.
Why is the chat crashing out? I'm kind of confused.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know why anyone would be crashing out. Like, you're insane.
If Trayce Jackson-Davis is our 7th best player, we're not winning a round in the playoffs. But that's cool too.
Okay. Let me make this a lot easier for people. Hold on one second.
And we still don't have a 5th starter.
Please don't show box plus minus because somehow quickly is always decent.
Yeah, because he's decent. That's why.
I guess, but even his horrible games, it's like decent.
So Trayce Jackson-Davis, super high free throw rate, insane offensive rebound rate, great rim frequency, great rim defense, great defensive rebounder, insane block percentage. Overall, according to this, similar players include Asar Thompson, Jakob Poeltl, Marvin Bagley, Tony Bradley, a depressing group of players, honestly. Defensively, Nick Claxton, Miles Turner, Clint Capella, Alex Sarr. Overall, yeah. Probably closest thing is Moussa Diabate. Look, you're getting a rebounder and a shot blocker here. I don't see anyone who should be complaining about this at all. He's efficient around the rim. He's sneaky athletic. He's kind of young. There's really no reason for anyone to be upset about this. Okay. 905 Saga Nation, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up?
And Razor, what's good? What's good, man?
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I think this is a good trade. Obviously, we need a center, and I think Trey Jackson-Davis, from what I've seen of him, I can't say I've seen a lot of him, but he's solid. He could protect the rim. He's a little shorter than what I would like, but I think it's a decent trade, especially because we only give up a second-round pick. So
Yeah, just do me a favor and don't bang your mic or whatever you're doing. Like, don't hit your hand on the table. It's very distracting audio listening
my bad.
experience. Yeah, I mean, he's not a good shooter. He's not a good free throw shooter. The touch is a little bit mixed up, but he is a good passer. He's a pretty good passer. And he's operated in the Warriors offense as a post hub, which the Raptors love, right? He gives you a pretty decent defender, not a great defender by any means, but a pretty decent defender. I would have preferred Oso Iguodaro, if I'm being honest, like between the two players. There's like that, but Trayce Jackson-Davis is solid.
Would you rather have him or Day'Ron Sharpe?
Day'Ron Sharpe by far.
Yeah, I agree. I think Day'Ron Sharpe just gives you more defensively for sure, and offensively, I think Day'Ron Sharpe's solid as well. But passing wise, I would definitely.
Day'Ron is a better shooter,
Yeah,
which I think matters a lot, and probably a better passer by a little bit of a better athlete, but same size. And honestly, I think Day'Ron's about 6'10", with about a 6 to 7 foot wingspan. So,
and he's 6'8", right?
6'9".
Oh, 6'9", okay.
Yeah. There's really like there's no reason to be upset about this. I mean, if anything, if there is a reason to be upset about this, is that he was a 57th pick a few years ago, but he pushed himself to 57s.
Yeah,
like he was a behemoth in college. He pushed himself to that point. Yeah,
I think it's solid. I'm not mad.
He brings a couple things that we need: defense and rebounding. So as long as players that are brought in on a good deal have those have skill sets that we need, then I'm happy with it. I don't really see the reason to trash the trade. It looks like a good move. Solid
He's
move.
expiring, no?
Pardon?
He's expiring.
Is he? I thought he had.
He has
one more
another
year.
season.
Yeah, he has a season after this. So the deal with the Warriors was he got a 4-year deal in exchange for dropping in the draft. He was probably going to go top of the second round, maybe late first round, but he kind of pushed himself to a better situation for him. Yeah. So it's a team option on year 4. You get a very solid big who is better, in my opinion, than anyone you probably would have gotten with the 50th or 49th pick in next year's draft. So I'm not too mad at it. The Raptors have gotten rid of 2 picks to get Trayce Jackson-Davis. That's probably better than getting rid of a first. It's not terrible. At this point, though, if you're asking me, like, would you have rather traded 2 seconds for Trayce Jackson-Davis or traded a first for Day'Ron Sharpe? I would tell you probably Day'Ron Sharpe. Naveen, what's up? Lane, what's up? We got 8 people on stage. If anyone's done talking, you can just drop out. But yeah, what's good, man?
Yo, I'm gonna make this super quick, but because I don't know anything about Trayce, but I just watched 3 clips of him dunking on Wemby, dunking on Embiid, and dunking on Sabonis, and that was very encouraging stuff.
Great. That's funny. I'm glad that's what people are gonna see. It's great.
Do you think the Raptors are done, or
no?
Is there any more moves to be made?
No.
Think RJ's gone by tomorrow?
He should be.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think
Well-
he will, to be honest. Sorry. You can
What
go.
does the situation look like if we don't trade him by this trade deadline? Like, what does our next off season look like?
He's a
Is it
$29 million expiring this summer, which is a
Okay.
great place to be.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not the end of the world if we don't trade him.
And no more extensions. They're done with that.
I'm
Unless
more
we can
worried.
have him for like 15 mil.
No extensions. None. Stop.
Yeah, I'm more worried if we don't move off Yuck at the trade deadline. I feel like that's the red flag for me because it's a now or never type of thing. And I'm wondering what the draft compensation that the Kings wanted that really shut down conversations earlier with Sabonis. Because, I mean, a 2027 top 8 protected doesn't sound so bad to me.
I think at this point, Jakob Poeltl's like value is just completely like he damn near has no value. So I think we just keep him for one more year, maybe build that value up.
You can't. It's the contract. You got to get rid of the contract. The contract is the value. Getting off.
Yeah, but
that-
what's the rush? Like, why would a team not want to take him next year when he's playing better and there's less time? on his
Exactly, that's my
contract?
No,
point. Yeah.
he's never gonna play better.
Yeah, he will.
His back.
He was good last year, and suddenly he has back issues.
Do you
if
know
he-
what happens though when a 7-footer has back issues?
How old is he?
No, and
You
neither,
might-
and-
You
no,
might as
and,
well
and
cut his
neither.
hand.
No, come on now. Like there have been players with back issues who have been perfectly fine later.
Rob, what did I say at the beginning of January? I said he's not going to play this whole month. He's not going to play all February.
Didn't you say he's not going to play the whole year?
I said I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play the whole year.
Okay, and he was on the court just yesterday.
Yeah, he's gonna be back any day now, and I think he's gonna be fine.
What court?
Practice court.
Wasn't that today or was that yesterday? Because I
That
seen
was
a clip-
yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Yes,
Okay. I mean, yeah, I personally think we just keep him because he has no value right now on the market. So we keep him and maybe build that up, maybe trade him in the offseason or next deadline. But
I think the value
That's
there is just
what I-
getting off the contract, and if it RJ, him, and somewhat protected first to get it done, that's what it costs.
Mhm.
Do you, how
Here's
many?
some Trayce Jackson-Davis defense while we talk about this, but yeah, just watch him guard two players in one spot. Ironically, Danny Wolf taking a dunk, takes a layup off the table for him.
But yeah, speaking of trying to get off the Jakob contract, I mean, this team has Rob. You were talking about the other day. It's like, how many contracts would other teams consider? Yeah, that's one I'd take. It's like 3. Like it's Mamu because it's minimum. It's CMB because he's a rookie, and it's Scotty because he's like a all defensive, all-star young player, and the contract is fair value.
And RJ because he's expiring.
Yeah, but it's expiring.
you don't
next-
think a team would take on theoretically? Obviously, we wouldn't trade him, but you don't think a team would take on Brandon Ingram?
they're not?
No.
They wouldn't have given him that money. So when you guys talk about get off the contract, there's like half the contracts on this team. Theoretically, you'd want to get off at some point.
100%. We have 3 contracts that nobody in the league would touch, and I mean every team maybe has one of them, and we have 3 of them.
Yeah,
The
but
good thing about
what is
Brandon-
the rush to trade them when they're at their lowest? I don't get it. I guarantee you, Jakob
Because
rehabs his value from here. 100%.
I guarantee you he doesn't. And if he plays, it will be nothing close. Like him right now not playing is better than him playing.
I
First,
disagree.
because he's still hurt.
That's
He
not
hasn't been 100% since last season, and
he
he probably
won't
will
be
be.
100% again. I promise you, he'll never be 100% again.
I mean, you
I
can't
trust our-
guarantee
How
that.
do you know that? Like,
Yeah,
like
you
I mean,
can't
again,
guarantee that
unless
at
you've
all.
evaluated him medically, like this is just misinformation, Lane.
It's
Like,
his back.
You can hypothesize that you
Yeah.
don't think that he is, but like this 100% promise stuff, to me, it's just this is hyperbole. Like, first of all, when he's been on the court and good this year, we've been amazing. Okay. Second, maybe the rest is good for him. Like we have an above average medical staff. We're not hearing anything about nerve damage. And apparently they're willing to trade him right now precisely because they believe he can pass a medical, not because he's so broken. Now, maybe they see it as, hey, the emergency CMB is making us rethink our timeline a little bit. Okay, cool. Right. But like I don't think that there's any reason to believe that a guy who's 30 is just done. Like this is like career defining. It's just a bit of back pain. It happens. Back pain is tricky. And it's not necessarily forever, is it?
And
Do
they
you,
did
do you
it
know?
early.
Do you know something that I don't know about
For
back?
some guys, it is. As someone who is very,
Do you think it's
do it-
normal for a 29 or 30-year-old to have career-ending back pain or career-defining back pain?
yeah,
Okay.
it is.
You
I
said
just
that's 100%. Like, how do you
Okay.
guarantee
I
that?
can't tell what center, what over 7-footer has had back
Bro,
pain at 30 or over and has came back and at least been 50% of what he was before the
bro, look at Embiid this season.
That was knees. That wasn't back. It was a little bit different.
Oh, okay, back.
The knee stuff is gone. I mean, the knee stuff's okay. Like Greg Oden now, he might have been able to come back with today's medicine. But you can't mess with someone.
No, Greg Oden had one leg that was longer than the other leg, so that was never going to work. That was a gait issue. He literally couldn't walk.
I'm just saying that you can't mess with the back. The back is tricky, especially for a guy that big. Like a human being that big, your back is tricky. I hope so. I'm not saying I hope he doesn't. Obviously, I would never say that. I hope he does. I hope
No, but you said there's 3 contracts that no one would touch, and I'm telling you,
Yes,
no,
there are 3 contracts.
there's one contract on this team right now that is very, very hard to move, which is Jakob Poeltl. I do not believe Emmanuel quickly is impossible to move. I just believe that you would have to take back bad money to get off of him, or you'd have to give up a pick. And I like, for instance, do you think Emmanuel quickly could not be moved right now for, I don't know, Jeremy Grant?
He for sure could.
I
Okay.
don't know if we're taking Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard.
Well, Damian Lillard ain't going nowhere. He's franchise legend.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's the trade destination for him. I think if we're talking relative value, like player for player, like there's 3 guys on this team right now that you couldn't do a player for player trade for. It has to be more than, right? To where other teams, you have guys where you can do player for player trades.
Who are the 3 again? RJ, Yak, and IQ.
RJ, Yak, and IQ. Honestly, if you could argue Brandon Ingram, not because he's bad, but just because no one was willing to offer that contract but Toronto. So would they honor that contract now?
But after this year, he only has 2 years left.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't it 1 and then an option?
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I don't know who the trade partner would be to take that money.
It would be different if they gave him a 5-year deal like they gave Quickly. Then it's like a different level of But 3 years isn't the end of the world. And 1 year is going to end, and it'll be 2 starting next year. That's
Especially,
movable.
And then we get an option and we get to do it all over again. Isn't that fun?
But back to the Jakob thing, do you guys agree they mismanaged his back injury, or they underestimated it?
100%.
Like, I remember that Dallas game when we were in Dallas. He had no business being out there.
I remember in training camp when they were talking about it like it was nothing. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh my God, the dude is 30 and he just hurt his back.
Okay, so I'm going to answer your question that you asked earlier, Lane, and this is going to be a nice little education moment for everybody. You asked me for any player who was tall, or you think 7 feet tall, roughly, who had back issues. So
He
here's
came back to be 50% of what he was before. I'm not even asking him to be the full player. At least half.
Brook Lopez.
when
Back
did he get it?
surgery in 2021.
Yeah, he came back for
He
sure.
didn't in 22. He
He can't-
didn't come back, or 23. He didn't come back. He's not what he was.
Chat said Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. is
Michael
another
Porter
great
Jr.
example. He is about 6.
Though?
Okay, he's 6'10". Come on now.
Moses
Shaquille O'Neal.
Malone.
Shaquille O'Neal dealt with chronic back spasms through the early 2000s.
And that's
Jajunas-
worse than Jakob.
Jajunas Ilgauskas. So Shaq won championships after he had back issues, just to be clear. Hakeem was in the NBA Finals with back issues. David Robinson had significant back issues in the 90s and was actually still able to be a starter on a championship team and was more than 50% of the player that he was. Tyson Chandler, 7'1" Tyson Chandler, also had back issues and was perfectly fine. Jajunas Ilgauskas, I already mentioned. Arvydas Sabonis was able to play 7, 8, 9 years in the NBA after both Achilles and back issues. Dikembe Mutombo, so late in his career, still lasted 18 years. He had back issues by the time he got to Philadelphia. So Robert
this is-
Robert
this
Robert
is-
Parrish
yeah.
is another example, and this is before medicine advanced. So again, to clarify, there are a lot of players who have had back issues and have been okay. There are also some famous examples of players who had back issues and weren't okay. Guys like Dwight Howard, and they declined fast, and I get it.
And
But
in Dwight's case,
but the difference here, and I want to be clear about this, the difference between someone like Dwight and someone like Yak is one relied on explosiveness, the other does not. Jakob Poeltl has
Yak is
never
all
relied
skill
on
and soft
explosiveness.
touch. Yeah.
Exactly. Jakob Poeltl is much more like Jonas Ilgauskas in the sense that his game is not predicated. It's much like Brook Lopez. Guys who have done well coming back from the situation, to me, seem to be very high skill, high field players who don't rely on run, jump, athleticism. So yes, maybe a back injury is going to derail Sean Kemp, but maybe it's not going to derail someone like Moses Malone. Does that make sense? I think I'm doing a pretty good job of making a case why Jakob Poeltl
I think
can
the
be
issue. I
back
think
to
the
himself.
issue is that those guys are superhumans compared to Jakob Poeltl, and that's no disrespect to Jakob Poeltl. Like those
Why
guys,
is Jonas Ilgauskas a superhuman compared to Jakob Poeltl?
he's
Why
probably
is
the
Brook
outlier.
Lopez?
He's probably the only outlier. Him and Brook Lopez are probably the only outliers. Everyone else are like elite. Like there's levels in the NBA. You know this. I know this. There's levels. Like those guys are top 75 players of all time. Other than those two are the outliers that possibly give hope. However, Brook Lopez is not what he was before at all, but he's still playing. Fair point.
Brook Lopez was also like what 36, 37 when he came back from those injuries, and in 2022, 2023, he wasn't that bad. Like he's bad now, sure, but
Brook Lopez?
yeah, you said he got the back.
He's 37 today. What are we doing here?
yeah, that's incorrect.
Yeah, Brook's my age. Brook and Robin are my age.
Yeah,
But,
he's got mellow in his olden age. Brook Lopez has.
And as far as I remember the Dwight situation, he had back surgery. Like he had like a torn labrum in his back or whatever, and he had surgery.
Mm-hmm.
He even said he shouldn't have played that year with the Lakers and with Kobe because
Right.
he shouldn't have played. So that year playing on that bad back probably derailed and ruined the latter years of his career.
I just want to show you guys that these are the 3 years after Brook Lopez came back from back surgery.
What was the surgery exactly? I honestly don't know.
You can Google it. Brook Lopez back surgery. So it was underwent successful back surgery in Los Angeles on December 2nd, 2021 to address a lingering issue from the opening game of 2021, performed by Robert Watkins. The procedure was aimed at fixing a bulging disc, causing him to miss the majority of that season. So this was a surgery which caused him to miss an entire season this year, right here. So this was the season where, clearly he played 13 games that year, and then he came back and he was first team all defense and had his best season of his career, arguably second to third best season of his career if you go just by box plus minus. So early with the Brooklyn Nets, he had an all-star season. Then he had the next season, which was probably, per the metrics, his best season, but he wasn't super healthy that year. So yeah, if we're talking like he won a championship that year, dude. Like he came back and won a championship. So, or was the championship the year before? Hold on one second. What year did the Bucks win the championship?
2021.
Okay, so I apologize. He did not win a championship
Year
that year,
after.
but he was
Yeah.
still great. I mean, shit.
And hey, that's good for him. Herniated disc is nothing to play with. I think my issue with Yox more than anybody is the fact that it's in the lower back. The lower back sprain stuff is really, really rough.
But it's encouraging that they're taking their time with him and they're taking it serious, as opposed to the other example where Dwight just played through it. Like they're not doing that anymore. They're not man up. That stuff that doesn't happen anymore.
I don't feel like the
He's
Raptors.
back when he's
done
ready.
that. I feel like
when he's ready.
I feel like when the Raptors have a player who doesn't feel 100%, they never push, or at least they haven't.
Which is
If
good.
they would have, Kawhi would have got absolutely shoved on the court, and they let him rest all the time.
Well, he did in the playoffs.
That was by design.
No, it was by design.
But they also, by the way, like they also let Fred VanVleet play through
A lot of stuff.
a lot of stuff. They let Kyle
But
Lowry
I
play through a lot of stuff.
I don't think you were taking Fred or Kyle off the court.
Shadows Paul said Serge Ibaka had back surgery. When?
Yeah,
Let's check.
I'm gonna look.
That'd be funny if it was after the championship.
Yeah, but once a player like is actually not good anymore, you can't use that as an example.
So Serge Ibaka underwent successful season-ending surgery on his back June 2021 to address a lingering issue that bothered him through the 2020
Yeah,
and
but he was
2021 season.
washed by then. That can't be an example.
Yeah, that's not a good example.
Was
Once again, I don't think Jakob is having ending back injuries, anyways.
Ibaka's last good year was the bubble year.
Which was the year before.
Yeah, it was last a good year. I'm not using Serge Ibaka way past his prime as a reason. Look, see, this is another example. No, if it happened when he was 28, sure.
Right. Well,
I feel like he was having a good year up until then, though. I don't know. Let me look.
Bro,
What team was he on at that time?
Gasol and Ibaka were on their last legs during the title defense year in the bubble. They were on their last legs. We all know it.
sure.
I mean, he was at 11.1 points a game until that back injury happened, and then he fell to 6, and then 7, and then 6, and then 4, and then he was out of the league. I mean, I think he would have probably had a more graceful decline, but I mean, you really can't say. You really it is what it is. I just think a guy who athleticism was never a strong suit to where now you're having a lower back injury. I just don't think it spells well for Toronto in the long run. I hope I'm wrong, but the worst case scenario comes out that his back is truly cooked, and now all of a sudden he goes from a contract with maybe he can, because his value right now is higher than it was 2 months ago, unfortunately, to maybe someone who can to eventually it's just dead weight, and you're going to have to eat it because no one else is going to take it.
You can never explain to me why Bob gave him that contract. Like, I'll never understand that. But do you guys think he's actually going to come back this year, like reasonably? Does anybody believe?
Yes. Jakob Poeltl? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I mean,
sure.
honestly,
I don't know.
and I don't mean to be rude, but none of us have any insight into this.
No, I don't either.
None of us know what Jakob Poeltl's back issue is. We haven't seen his back. We can hopefully just trust the Raptors, although I know that is sometimes a dubious proposition. And I know that the optics around it seem terrible because they're trying to trade him. But again, a lot of this is like rumored stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard for me to like take any of it with like anything but a grain of salt.
That's true. I think it's just the nature of the NBA and what's going on right now. Like, you can't tell me that over the next 5 years, Darius Garland's going to be a worse player than James Harden. But the Cavs are so scared because of what might be going on with his foot that they were willing to gamble that chance for a 2-year championship.
But that's not what happened.
I don't think that's
entirely. What happened was they gambled on the now, discounting the future, and presumably, okay, even if they're a little bit scared of that, it's not like James Harden has been the beacon of clean health over the last 2-3 years. James Harden's having a successful one right now. They are worried that because they are in the same situation with Donovan Mitchell that the Bucks are with Giannis, and they're a small market team, and they don't want to lose their only star. This is really the only star who's really stuck around and chosen to be there since LeBron James. So unfortunately, right now, they're striving for relevance. They've put a roster around him that depends on him to create a lot of shots. Evan Mobley hasn't exactly morphed into some sort of superstar that you can just hand the reins over to, so you can just move off of, Donovan Mitchell. And so they're probably going to make some impulsive moves right now. And one of those impulsive moves is trading 3 to 4 years of Darius Garland for 2 years of James Harden. I think it's pretty straightforward.
I don't think that's impulsive either.
And honestly, like from what I'm understanding and from what I've heard, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell was on board with this idea of bringing in James Harden.
Yeah,
probably so that when the Cavaliers get bounced in the first round this year, they can blame James Harden instead of blaming Donovan Mitchell.
Fair point. The reports here locally, at least in Ohio, is that they were sick of Darius Garland's injuries. They were just sick of him. They wanted him out.
He was an all-star last year.
He was an all-star.
He was, right?
He was.
Last year he was?
If you tell me he's an all-star the next year, he plays more than 60 games, I believe you too. The kid's that talented. And when we say, like, I don't think it's for the 5 years of Darius Garland. I think they're trading 10 years of Darius Garland. I think Darius Garland would have been in Cleveland as long as Cleveland wanted Darius Garland there. I don't think he was leaving.
Yeah, but they've got Donovan Mitchell now, who's And I don't think Darius Garland will ever be what Donovan Mitchell is.
Right, but that's the point. Is you traded a guy who was going to be there for the long haul, potentially no matter what, for 2 years of a championship window for Donovan Mitchell, right?
Yeah,
and if you think, but here's the thing: who's to say Harden doesn't decline into like a 16, 17 point per game scorer next year on 45 to 48% true shooting?
He's still going to be a better defender than Darius Garland. He's still going to be
Here's what it
similar
boils down to.
passer.
Here's what it boils down to. Do you have a better chance in this playoff run and next year's playoff one to get out of the second round with James Harden in place of Darius Garland? Yes
For
or no?
sure.
I got to see it I really got to see how it's going to work on the court.
Well, here's my answer. We know they're second round out with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. That's what they are. They were the higher seed and the better team going into multiple second rounds and lost.
Mm-hmm.
That experiment
yeah.
they've run it and it doesn't work.
To answer this question by Karen Hall, shout outs to Karen Hall, one of our VIP channel members. I don't know how Trayce Jackson-Davis impacts CMB. To be honest, playing both of them together will probably be yikes. I think Trayce has a lot in common with Jakob Poeltl. A lot. He's a good screen setter, good dribble handoff guy, really good offensive rebounder. Probably a better rim protector at this point. Probably the best rim protector on this team, if I'm being honest. Like right now, he's probably the best shot blocker on this team. So I'm more curious to see how the Raptors defense can work with CMB, Trayce Jackson-Davis, and Scotty Barnes together, but that spacing is going to be cringe.
Does he have potential of starting or?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
Yeah, sure.
You think he starts?
He could start. I mean, he started in Golden State, spot minutes, so why can't he start here?
You think he
But
comes
they
off?
had the shooting. They had the shooting to put around him. We don't really.
Yeah, and I mean, he's an above the rim finisher. So something that CMB is not, he is. He is a guy who can dunk fluidly and has the length to finish around the rim, and has a little bit more. I don't want to say a little bit more size, but he is just a little bit taller than CMB. So, he is an actual center. Like I know that people maybe they balk at the 6'9". I don't know why. I don't know if do people realize that 6'9" and 7 feet is separated by like this much. Like, do people realize that? Is this making the difference of the world to people? I mean, I guess. That's what she said.
That's 7'1".
That's what she said, I guess. But that was crazy. My bad. It's late.
Hey, Rob, I had one last thing here. Completely different topic. If our 2026 pick that we control, obviously this draft is seen as a very good, very deep draft. However, we're probably going to be in like the low 20s.
Why?
If we continue on our trend.
Not necessarily.
Okay, this sort of leads into the next part of the question.
Cleveland is just we're about to be 5th in the Eastern Conference. Right now, because Cleveland is tied with us and they're up 23 against the LA Clippers right now. So presumably they're going to win. Okay. So we are now 5th and we are now a full game behind Cleveland. And I don't think we're going to catch up if I'm being completely honest. So let's say we're going to be 5th or 6th or 7th in the Eastern Conference. Okay, cool. Boston's getting better. Every team ahead of us has just got better. Boston's going to get back Jason Tatum. Detroit's not stopping anytime soon. We're not going to get home court advantage in the playoffs. And I, for one, am thrilled about that. I don't want home court advantage in the playoffs. I want to be in the playoffs, but I don't want home court advantage in the playoffs. So we're probably going to pick like 19s or 18s, man.
Is that worth it in this draft? Or do you think that it's worth it for this team to try to pivot and tank a little more? Or
no, I don't think
you cannot tank at this point.
Yeah.
You're too far gone.
Well, then shouldn't we trade this pick? I just don't think that's worth it.
Hell no. This pick is really a good place in this draft. I mean, this is a really good place.
I don't know enough about this draft yet, so
I did an entire video about why the Raptors should not trade the 2026 first round pick, precisely because this draft is loaded from 12 to 22. It's a really good place to pick. Now, I'll remind you, here are some players picked between 12 and 22 for people as refreshers. 12 and 23. Okay, so let's include 23 precisely so that we can say OG. In fact, let's go 11 to 23, just in case the Raptors slip into the play-in, and then because I don't think people typically value. Mikal Bridges was picked in this range. Josh Hart, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was Josh Hart a second round pick? Josh Hart might have been a second round pick. OG was definitely picked in this range. Klay Thompson was picked in this range from 11 to 23. Kobe Bryant was picked in this range. Kawhi, Giannis. Now, okay, go one step down. Jared McCain, Khalil Ware, both fantastic players who would net multiple firsts at this point, or at least a first and change, were picked in this range. Jalen Williams was picked in this range. Shea was picked in this range. Right. So again, you can go down the list of, players who are kind of slept on or whatever. But yeah, like a mid first round pick in a solid draft is great. It's great.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. I thought I had the impression that it was like very top heavy up to like 6 or 7 and then it fell off. I didn't know that it was so deep.
It is extremely top heavy. But someone's saying Tyrese Maxey. That is a great example. Yes, Tyrese Maxey. Someone said Parker. No, Parker was the 28th overall pick, and you said Ginobili. Ginobili was the 57th overall pick. So no, not those guys. But yeah,
you answered my question.
Yeah, I mean it's top heavy in the sense that there's like franchise players at the top, but it's also middle heavy, which is to say there's starter level talent all the way into, I would say, the early 20s.
Okay, so we're fine keeping our pick and being like a middling team.
Absolutely. And if Trayce Jackson-Davis is a part of the long-term future, count me as very, very thrilled that you have a rotation level center on your team who is not a defensive liability. Okay, he's not a shooter. Okay, I get it. Probably not ever going to be a shooter, and that's perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with it because he is a elite finisher. He is good around the rim, and he's a very good defender, and he's a very good passer. There's a lot of good things that he does. Yeah. Raps 416 says we are 18th on Tankathon at this moment. Wonderful. Brilliant. Yeah.
And Lane, one last thing. You said you think RJ is a bad contract right now from a trade perspective?
Who said that?
I don't think his contract's necessarily as bad as potentially Brandon Ingram would be.
Okay, I was going to say if there's a top 3, it's Ingram over RJ.
Yeah, I don't know if there's value that you would get back that would be comparable to Brandon Ingram for getting rid of Brandon Ingram per se, right? And you can almost say the same for RJ Barrett unless you're putting together another contract and a pick, which would be Jakob. But yeah, no, I mean that's what it is. And in my opinion, I don't think there's any team in the NBA, maybe outside of 1 or 2, that have more than 2 of those, and we have 3 of those. Like, it's a miracle that our record is what it is, and that's just a testament to how good Scotty's been this year. Back to the trade stuff, though, like picks wise, how do you feel about getting off of the 2027 pick if it's like an all-star caliber player?
Perfectly fine with trading it for an all-star caliber player. I went through a list of players that I would trade, and that I went through a list of players that I would trade the 2026 pick for, and it included guys like Santi Aldama. So yeah, for an all-star caliber player, I'm more than cool.
I hope that Ja gets traded at like 11 tomorrow, so then the rest of that roster is just wide open for picking. Because if it is,
I really want us to get Ty Jerome. I don't know if there's any
isn't
possibility of that, but I would love that.
Why isn't it ready for the pickings now?
because I think that they're still going to try to hold on hope with those picks and make a splash trade in the summer for Giannis or something and pair up John Morant with Giannis. But if you trade John Morant, then it's wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Because then no hope, like the rebuild is on. But if you keep Ja, then the possibility in their minds that, oh, we can get a Giannis or someone like that is going to be there. At least in my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong, but if you trade if you don't trade Morant, you're probably not emptying out the rest of your roster.
If there was a guy that you guys could, for the Raptors to get tomorrow, and realistically, obviously, who would it be?
Whoever the hell said Jerome, I'm on that. I agree with
100%.
You said
Miles Turner is my number one by far. I would love it if we traded for Miles Turner without giving up too much. I know Rob doesn't like him, but I think he's like the perfect archetype of center for us. The rim protecting, floor spacing, like transition guy. Like he's perfect for us.
I mean, His contract isn't great, but he has
Better
a
than
play
that.
option for 28, 29.
Yeah, that's not great, I guess.
I mean, that contract was basically given to him as a Hail Mary attempt to keep Giannis. That contract was signed under duress. They weren't in their right mind when they gave him that contract.
Agreed.
Yeah. Someone said New York trade Gershon Yabusele to the Bulls. Nice. So I am actually a bit of a Gershon Yabusele truther or
For
fan.
Dalen Terry.
Wow. That's a whole lot of nothing for the Knicks.
I don't know how we would have made it work. I would have loved to get Kobe White. I feel like as a bench guard, or if you trade RJ, if you wanted to be the shooting guard for the rest of the year, oh my god, that would have been fun.
For sure.
Yeah, I would have
What
liked
do you guys
that too.
think of the Raptors potentially getting? And this is just what I think will be a good fit. I would assume from the Bulls.
Great. I would love
would be a
him.
good fit, yeah,
That'd be good, yeah.
Would y'all trade Grady for Ayo?
for sure.
Yes.
Oh, in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think twice about that.
Yeah.
Especially because he's expiring, so maybe the Bulls would take on Grady. I don't know.
Honestly, kind of funny, but like, I know it sounds crazy, but I actually think Trey Jackson-Davis is going to lift us like a little bit more than people are realizing. Like, I genuinely want y'all to know that he plugs one of the biggest defensive needs on this team.
I agree.
Like,
Yeah,
like by far. And
And-
so,
Mhm.
yeah. You know what? And also, Baba G. Cut said Gershon Yabusele is better than DeAndre Ayton Penn. I still agree with that. I don't give a fuck what you say, bro. DeAndre Ayton is the worst basketball player I've
I
ever
agree
seen in
with
my
that
life.
100%.
Fuck
too.
that shit, bro. He sucks. He is a trash ass basketball player. If DeAndre Ayton's on your team, just pack up, pack it up, change locations, go to another city. Fuck that bullshit, man.
I agree with what you just said, Rob, because tonight, one of the reasons we lost, on top of the really bad turnovers that happened back to back in the
lack
fourth,
of rim protection.
the lack of rim protection. Yeah, there was a
And
couple of like,
rebounding, too,
major rebounds that we could have gotten that would have saved us the game that we didn't get.
Like-
Exactly.
I think just having a proper center come to this team, like we've seen what Jakob Poeltl looked when he played for this team. So I think people are sleeping on the trade a bit. It's a good trade.
That's another good point. Is
Yeah.
you said he was good at screening or doing
He's
pick
a,
and rolls?
he's a good screener. He is a very, very reasonable processor of the game. Again, so I will say this. Someone said, Penn, who's better, Trayce Jackson-Davis? Are you insane? Military man, I know you are young, but are you also insane? Are you kidding me right now? Who is better between Trayce Jackson-Davis and DeAndre Ayton? Dude, I'm not even sure DeAndre Ayton is better than Trayce Jackson-Davis's father, Dale Davis, and I'm pretty sure Dale Davis is 60 years old right now.
Who's better, Ayton or Bamba?
Now that's tough.
That's
tough
tough.
one.
That might be Ayton. Damn,
Okay. Shit.
that might be Ayton. But yeah, Trayce Jackson-Davis way better than fucking DeAndre Ayton. Come on now.
But the impact Jackson Davis will have says more about the roster construction than it does about Jackson Davis.
No,
I agree.
I think it has a lot to do with synergistic style. So
There isn't a center on the team.
okay, so that's part of it. Like
Come
water
on.
is more valuable in the desert than it is on the beach
Thank
side.
you.
I get it. Yes. However, and this is worth noting, there aren't a lot of centers who fit what you do as a team.
I think Quickly is going to play really nice next to Trayce Jackson.
He should. Yes.
Yeah.
He should be a lot better next to him. He's a solid screener. Teams have been able to zone up against us, and I feel like a big who can get in the middle of the zone and operate as a, like a automatic paint touch hub, demand, like, yeah. I don't know. I think Trayce Jackson-Davis, there's like, I want to say there's about 15 to 25 bigs in the league who have exactly what it takes to play in the Raptors offense. And I have talked about pretty much all of them except for Trayce. And the reason I haven't talked about it is because he doesn't shoot well, and I didn't think he was available. So yeah. James Walsh saying Davis is really a forward. I promise you, he is a center. He is a center through and through. As a rebounder, he's a center. As a shot blocker, he's a center. He is a center. If you want to say he's a power forward because he's 6'9", then Dwight Howard is not a center.
Then Bam Adebayo
he is absolutely a center. Like, he was a center in college. He's a center his whole life. He knows the position. He plays the position. He sees the game as a center. He plays the game as a center. Defensively, he plays like a center. He's a center. What is Trayce Jackson-Davis's wingspan? For the few times I've said this, he's 7'1", 7'1" wingspan. So, yes. I don't know, man. There's something about. I think there is something in this fan base that is just obsessed with 7-footers. I don't know what it is. Some of the best centers of all time are not 7 feet tall. Just so people know. Bill Russell, not 7 feet tall. Hakeem Olajuwon, not 7 feet tall. Dwight Howard, not 7 feet tall. Anthony Davis, not 7 feet tall.
With Trayce Jackson-Davis, is Project 6ix9ine still on?
Oh yeah, it is 100% on. Scotty, Bi, Trayce. That's a front court right there. Yeah, that's officially 6'9". Someone saying Ben Wallace. Yeah, Ben Wallace is probably closer to 6'7", 6'8". I know some people. Every time I tell people who know Ben that he's 6'7", they always get mad at me. But I'm like, the afro doesn't count.
Same as Jared Allen. He's 6'9" as well.
There you go. One of the best centers in the NBA.
Bam Adebayo too, 6'8", 6'9".
There you go.
Yeah.
So why are people so obsessed with this?
Anyways, I gotta head out. So
all right, peace, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Treeper FN with the super chat. Would you like Sadiq Bey? Maybe send Grady Dick out. Sadiq's a better player.
What's that contract? Do they match?
Probably roundabouts.
I mean, you got to do something, in my opinion. I don't want to sit. I wouldn't.
They just did something. Trayce Jackson-Davis is a significantly better player than Ochai Agbaji.
Oh, definitely.
And plays a way, way, way more important position of need and makes less money. So I feel like we won out if the cost of making a swap for Ochai. I mean, okay, so here's a question for you. I mean, you're familiar with Trayce, right?
Yeah.
And you're obviously
Indiana
familiar with,
Yeah.
and you're familiar with Ochai. So what if the Raptors could have done this deal without involving the team before? So what if they had traded Ochai and 2 second-round picks for Trayce Jackson-Davis? Would you do it?
For the concept of getting off the salary and getting under the cap, probably. Yeah.
Okay. So these two moves should be looked at as one move.
Yeah. It's a union.
And also, a little bit of a value add here. Ochai is expiring. Trayce has 1 more year on that super bargain discount deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think having a rotation level player on a minimum contract helps to offset the cost of Jakob Poeltl. Someone saying, "Oh my God, John Morant to the Kings." That's the most Kingsy move ever, but I don't believe you.
Yeah, it didn't happen. I got notifications on for everybody. Has not come through. I'm not gonna let you get got pen. Promise.
Great.
Saw the live earlier.
Ban him. Okay. To whoever your name is, Lao Roll 1983. I hope 1983 is not when you were born, because you are too old to be trolling. Please let me know why you said this, and if you don't let me know within a minute, I'm gonna have to ban you. So please let me know why you decided to head fake 550 people past midnight.
It's a lot of people when you really think about it.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that you just had flood to Elon's, little app here, panic like, oh my God, John Morant. And I know that you're in your feeble little life, in which is probably not amounted to very much. You got a little power trip, getting 550 people to pay attention to you for a second. So let us know. Were you got, or did you think that we were going to be got? No.
I
Just
think he,
Just running away. Okay, cool. So, yep. Bye-bye. Ban.
Did you guys talk about the Kuminga trade yet?
Not really.
Do you
like it?
Do I like it? I really like it for the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, if Kristaps Porzingis was not going to play for you, you basically turned. What did they trade for Kristaps Porzingis? They traded CJ McCollum. No, they traded Chris. How the fuck did they get Kristaps Porzingis?
Was it free agency? No.
What did they trade to Atlanta? Sorry, what did they trade to Boston to get Kristaps Porzingis?
Porzingis, Hawks.
I don't remember. Was it a trade exception?
Trade to Celtics. I feel stupid for not knowing.
I think it would have been a trade exception because, like, the Celtics were trying to duck the cap, and I don't remember anyone going back.
Yeah, it was definitely a trade exception.
Okay. So they basically just got Jonathan Kuminga for a trade exception. That's wonderful. You know what's funny? The Raptors could have done this. So
with who?
Instead of trading for Brandon Ingram, you could have potentially done something like this.
It was a 3-team trade.
So the Hawks got picks.
Hawks received Porzingis and a second-round pick. Celtics got Niang, a 2031 second-round pick, and cash. And then the Nets got Terrence Mann and Drake Powell.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, I mean, basically a trade exception.
Yeah.
A trade exception that looks like a refrigerator named George Niang.
Yeah. As a thick human being.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good trade. I think anytime you could add young athleticism, it wouldn't surprise me if, like, I'm not saying guaranteed or anything, but it wouldn't surprise me if Kuminga as an all-star in Atlanta at some point. I think he has the athleticism and defensive upside to put himself in that conversation. And I think Jalen Johnson got better with that trade because you're telling me that your partner, I mean, whether Jalen Johnson's going to play power forward or small forward, like Kuminga's going to start there. Like, you're telling me that the other guy on the other side of you is that at defense, like, that's going to make up so much for Jalen Johnson's shortcomings on the defense in the court. It's I really like it for the Hawks.
Right.
Now, I don't know why the hell the Warriors did it. I mean, I get it. You're backed in a corner, but, like, Porzingis' health issues are very scary.
I mean, the Warriors probably did it as an addition by subtraction situation, but the minute Jimmy Butler went out, I don't get it.
It's over. I mean, I know they never would, but at what point, if you were the GM right now and the owner, at what point do you start talking about, do we trade Stephen Curry the jumpstart our future? He's still worth 3 or 4 first-round picks, let's be honest. To the right team. Like, you're telling me you couldn't get Derek White and 3 or 4 first-round picks for the Celtics for Steph Curry. And that the Celtics would deal that deal in a heartbeat. I know it's something to think about because it's like no one ever would ponder the idea of it. But, like, I don't know. Because it's either you're going to be bad for 5 years after Steph, or you could start now.
I just think from a franchise perspective, it's very difficult monetarily to trade Steph Curry. Like, if it was difficult for the Lakers to trade Kobe, and it's difficult for the Warriors to trade Steph, he's so iconic. He's worth so much to you from a ticket sales perspective. The minute you trade him, like, the value of that franchise goes down. You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree more, but I think it's going to go down regardless after he retires. I think you're holding on to what it is right now.
Yeah, but trading him right now, unless it is like some sort of feel-good story where he ends up going to Charlotte for LaMelo or something like that, you know, where he gets to go home. to where his dad played or something. I think Steph was born in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was born in the same hospital as LeBron James. Crazy.
Yes. So, I mean, okay. But I mean, he grew up in Charlotte. So, and he grew up a little bit in Toronto as well. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think the fans would forgive you. And then with the Warriors, it's not just fans in Golden State, it's fans internationally.
I feel like the fans would be. I understand they'd be mad at first, but they would forgive. They would. It's in the twilight.
At what point do you just receive minimal gains for doing this? Like Steph is not going to materially change his legacy by going somewhere else and winning a championship. Like if Steph Curry goes to the Boston Celtics as a free agent and wins a championship, I don't think that's going to drastically change where people rank him historically or how they see his career. He's a top 10 player because his career is so clean. And there has to be some sort of value assigned to just staying with a team until you retire, right? Like, again, it's like, I get it from a transactional sort of market perspective, like, but his career is so clean, and that's so rare these days where you just have a guy who starts and finishes his career in the same place, that to screw that up at this stage in your career, I would have understood maybe like 3-4 years ago after Durant left, if, maybe he wanted to have a second. But at this point, like, you're almost diminishing your value by going somewhere else, because because it's almost like it's almost like telling someone Santa Claus is not real. If he goes to Boston, imagine like the kind of creepiness of seeing him in a Boston Celtics jersey after seeing him in only a Golden State jersey. And now, if things don't go right in Boston, now it's like he was a journeyman. I just, again, like Gary Payton left Seattle, yes, but then he became a journeyman, but he did it a little bit earlier in his career than Steph would. Right. Karl Malone left Utah, but Karl Malone's a pedophile, so nobody cares. So there's
do you think that he ever leaves then? I mean, or do you think he gets through it and then retires eventually?
I would not trade him unless he explicitly asked out. If I'm Golden State, I would never trade him.
I think if I was Golden State, I would sit Steph down this offseason and be like, if you ever want out, do not make it public. Let us know and we will get you out of here. But the last thing I want you to do is make it public, because the moment he makes it public, he goes from being worth 4 to 5 first-round picks to the 3.
Yeah. TR Mike's this is a good one. Steph playing out of Golden State would be like Ewing playing for Seattle, and Ewing did play for Seattle, and he also played for the Orlando Magic, and it was very weird to watch. I remember it, and it was gross. Yeah. Or Hakeem Olajuwon playing for the Raptors. Like, Hakeem was just very, chasing the bag, chasing the money. He felt like he had one more $18 million to steal. My God. It's so funny. I mean, we keep getting scammed by big men. This is like the most like permanent stain on the Raptors. Like, this is the most consistent thing of being a Raptor fan. Your bigs will scam you. All of them. Every one of them. Every one of them will scam you.
Do you know like the Key and Pele videos where it's like, what you know who those the comedians, the 2 black guys?
Abba and Preach?
It's like Cliff Klingleberry, or like the one TikTok that's going viral right now. Where it's like,
I don't have TikTok. It's probably the greatest quality I have. Like it's like, I say I'm an honest person and I don't have a TikTok account. So these are like the best things I can put. If I ever had a dating profile, it would be like the third thing I would write on my dating profile. Not have a TikTok.
Very valid. Key and Peele, that's what I'm thinking of. So
Key and Peele are awesome.
Yeah. So okay, so who they are. They're like their bits where it's one of them's giving like the sophisticated answer and the other's like saying what they really mean to say.
Yeah.
That's what Bobby Webster needs. Whenever someone goes,
he needs an anger translator, like Key.
He does. He needs an anger translator to where when Jakob Poeltl, we need the reverse time. First of all, we need a time machine. We need to go back to last May. And when Jakob Poeltl walks into his office and his agent calls him and says, hey, we're thinking about an extension because we want to test the market here in the next year and decline our player option, we need angry Bobby to pick up the phone. We don't need nice Bobby to pick up the phone.
I don't think angry Bobby exists.
Unfortunately, angry Bobby does not exist, but angry Bobby needs to exist.
Yeah, but see, the anger translator only translates the things that are going on inside. It doesn't invent anger for you. So I remember the skit with Barack Obama when he did the White House Correspondents' Dinner, right? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And Key was like the anger translator.
Yes.
So that's partially because there was a sense that Obama couldn't say things out loud that his anger translator could say for him. Whereas with Bobby Webster, I don't think there's anything angry inside of him at all. There's nothing to say at all.
Like joyously getting scammed.
No, the better anger translator would be for Darko. Darko deserves an anger translator because I guarantee you he gets angry.
Facts.
Guaranteed.
I feel like tonight, the way that he ended the game, first of all, he's not a dumbass, but the way he coached the end of the game was like a dumbass. I think he's trying to prove a point. I seriously think he was trying to prove a point to the front office of, I need more. When it's a 12-1 run and Scotty and BI are on the bench because they've played the last probably 10 minutes of the game and they need a breather and we can't trust them sitting on the bench. Like we can't hold a lead.
But why put them both on the bench at the same time?
I get that. But he hasn't done that all. I feel like he hasn't done that all year. Like there was times in past years where they were trying to lose and I was kind of on the fence with Darko. I'm in on Darko now. You don't got to convince me. I'm in on Darko now. However, I feel like he's trying to send a message.
Brandon Ingram played 35 minutes tonight. We had 2 games off, two days off. We do play a back-to-back tomorrow, but it's against the Bulls, and the Bulls are awful. Scotty played 37 minutes tonight. Scotty has clipped 40 minutes many times this year. So, yes, we could have called the timeout sooner. I do believe we let one get away, and I believe that maybe I have been a little bit too kind to Darko, letting him off the hook a few too many times. Yeah. Anyways, Lane, any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, just interested to see what they do tomorrow. I'll take your word for Trayce Jackson-Davis. I mean, I watched him when he was in Indiana, obviously. I've somewhat seen his NBA career so far, like when they played the Raptors and when the Warriors are on at 10 o'clock at night, Eastern, there's nothing else on to watch. He's a fine player. I'd be interested to see what he's going to do in a bigger role. I mean, like he has a chance to carve out a role for himself here, right? So it's kind of take what you can. And I hope that he takes that mentality into it. But yeah, it's going to be
the East is a little bit smaller too, and I feel like it's probably good to get this guy before you face Detroit 3 times, because you got 3 more games against Detroit, and I feel like you got 2 more games against New York, if I'm not mistaken. Those are some big teams. Those are some big teams with a lot of size, and I personally don't want to be in a situation where Scotty Barnes got to play center against Jalen Duren because I feel like he's going to die.
No, but Scotty Barnes is still your best center on the roster, unfortunately, and he's not a center.
He's also your best point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. He's your best everything.
And that's so sad, but yeah.
But I mean, LeBron was his team's best everything too.
Yeah, with all respect to Scotty, though, he's not LeBron.
Fair. Obviously, he's not. So really, the gap here is if Scotty could just turn into LeBron, we'd be good.
Yes. Or if we could just get 1 or 2 guys to take those positions and Scotty could be the best at 3 of those 5, then maybe we're okay. I mean,
Zigsaw Puzzle saying not shooting guard. Name me a better shooting guard on this team than Scotty Barnes. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Don't say
RJ Barrett. And don't say Brandon Ingram because he's not better.
Hey man, it's sad.
Like in terms of 2-way impact, there's no way in hell because Scotty made All-Star playing shooting guard. He has won a playoff game playing point guard. He has won against contenders playing center. Like I'm telling you, this guy can be the best player on every single one of. If you start him at 4 the entire year, he's your best player. If you start him at center the entire year, he's your best player. If you start him at small forward the entire year, he's your best player. If you start him at point guard the entire year, he's your best player. This, what I'm just saying right now, can be said for about 7 players in the league. Maybe. Less. Can't say this for Jalen Johnson because there's no way in hell he's your best player if he's starting at center. He's not good enough to play center.
I wouldn't put Giannis at point guard.
Although, would Jalen Johnson be the Hawks' best player if he started at center? He might be. So Jalen Johnson, Denny Avdia, I think you could say they would still be their team's best player if they started at any position. And Scotty. And maybe who else gets to be said for?
Jason Tatum when healthy.
Yeah, 4 players. 4 players in the whole fucking league. Baba G Cut said Zubac to the Pacers getting serious apparently. Good move. Great move if they get him.
We go get Kawhi then. I mean, like,
how about we go get Zubac?
I'm not against
it. Okay, so Jakob Poeltl and a first-round pick for Ivica Zubac.
I'm not against it, but in the world where everyone wants to flame me, and I'll trust you guys saying that Jakob's going to be okay, then let's go get Kawhi.
I'm not saying Jakob Poeltl is going to be okay. I'm just saying you can't say he's not going to be okay.
I think, in my opinion, I don't think he'll be okay. I hope I'm wrong. But,
Yeah.
I mean, what? Okay, would you bring Kawhi back? Would you be RJ Barrett and whatever the hell else it's going to take that's not IQ, Scotty Barnes, and Brandon Ingram to bring Kawhi back? Because they're not taking IQ, not because IQ is untouchable. They're just not taking IQ and RJ in a trade.
Well, you
For
have to.
let's say a 2027 unprotected first and a 2029 top 8 protected first. Are you bringing Kawhi back? I'm not saying I am or am not. I am Switzerland in this.
No.
Valid.
He's a top 6 player in the league. He's definitely over the hill at this point. Very injury prone and doesn't want to be here. And yeah, like, I mean,
I tell you what, though, I think if he could go back, he'd choose differently.
I doubt it.
I think he would stay for at least one more year.
I don't think so. I think he's happy with the fact that he chose. Like, you don't become the type of person that Kawhi is while having regrets. Like, I'm not saying the guy has no regrets, but I'm pretty sure leaving Toronto ain't one of them. Like, I know that gives Toronto Raptor fans a lot of joy and happiness, but I talked to somebody who was pretty connected with like the LA scene, and they were just like, bro, like he has nothing but good things to say about Toronto, but he wasn't staying past a year. He didn't want to stay. Would have gone to the Lakers, would have gone to the Clippers.
To be fair,
might have even gone to the fucking Miami Heat. The dude hates the cold, bro.
You know what? You're probably right. It's a lot of copium on my part. However, I think the best part of it is he hasn't done shit since he left. So you still have that sense of pride and joy of like it was us, and it really wasn't all the way him. It was what we had going on here. It was Kyle Lowry. It was the culture that they had created. Masai Ujiri. It was those guys. Those guys. So good on him. Good on Kawhi for wanting what he wants. But I mean, we would have repeated in 2020, and if he would have stayed, we have a fair chance in 21. So
yeah. ISO Swavy saying, "Give us Misi. Fuck, we getting Trayce Jackson-Davis for." Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, they're similar, except Trayce Jackson-Davis is just a much better playmaker and a lot bigger. I mean, at least in terms of, I hate to use the word girth, but just solid base, post defense, you know?
Yeah, your name off girthy players in the league. All right, it's Mike you to go to bed. Mike you to go to bed. Good night, Rob.
All right, good night, man. Peace.
Good night, peace.
Hey, yo, indeed. Yo, what is wrong with y'all generation? Dudes can't even use the word girth without having to pause. Low center of gravity. A little bit thick in the trunk. Like, what are we doing here? How would y'all describe thick in the trunk is even more crazy. How would y'all describe Kyle Lowry? How would you describe Kyle Lowry? I swear to God, my ex-girlfriend used to say he got junk in the trunk. Stocky? All right. Tyler Young said, hope your girlfriend uses the $200 wisely. Well, I got to tell you, personally, I feel like I owe her a little bit because she got this red light machine for like a few $1,000s, and I have made some pretty good use out of it, and I didn't have to pay a dime to it. So honestly, maybe I owe her a little bit of money back. Don't let her know that, though. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get done what I had to do in 15 minutes. I had to send out like 120 emails. But here I am talking about Trayce Jackson-Davis and Eve Misi with y'all and paying $200 to procrastinate. Shit. You know what the crazy part is? It was my fucking idea. The $200 was my idea. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to pay you $200 to procrastinate. I'm definitely going to do this. And fuck. Pine Cone person said, what's a red light machine? Weirdly enough, I could show you, but then I feel like people would take pictures of it and make fun of me. So it is a machine that looks a little bit like, how would I describe it? Can I just show y'all? Shit, hold on. There are pictures. This is 19. Sorry, I was gonna say this is 1992. This is wow. This is 2026. Hang on a sec. I can show y'all. So machine looks a little bit like this. Hang on a sec. So this looks like that. So basically, I know it looks very girly, and I really don't give a shit if you think that, because I'm secure in my masculinity, secure enough to say that the product is very girthy. The point here is that's not the point. The point is it's great for your skin, and I have been having some skin issues lately, which is to say that after I turned 35, I've been noticing that scars do not fade. Okay. Oh, it's a laser. It's like a laser. It's so basically light has a way of penetrating your skin. Yes, I just used the word penetrate. This is getting weird. Okay. So light has a way to get through your skin. That's how sunlight tans your skin. If you've ever gotten hyperpigmentation, if you went out with a scar, or if you went out with an open wound and you got sunburn, you're probably going to have like a permanent dark spot on your face for an entire year. That's kind of what happened to me. And someone said worth $20 max. What's worth $20 max? This thing? No, my friend, this is like thousands of dollars. Yeah. So basically, high quality versions of this. I mean, you can tell me. I think my skin looks a lot better. And I mean, look, I'm generally not too concerned about how I look. I mean, anyone who knows me can tell you I generally don't give a fuck about how I look. But then I noticed something. People watch me on a 60-inch TV sometimes. People are looking at me like very big screens. And I can't be looking super like busted up, you know? And there's only like at some point, like I can't lower my hat any further. Like I just need to take care of my skin. So Barnes and Scotty saying it does, Rob. It has a glow. Well, there you go. Skin's looking better. Skin is looking better because this product works. Yeah, so basically it penetrates your skin on a cellular level and it motivates your skin to and I mean honestly, it works for a lot of things. It works for a lot of things. It works for hair regrowth. So if you're seeing hair thinning somewhere, it works for beard growth. So if you're somebody who has a spotty beard, use a red light machine. It's a good word. Pine cone person said, wait, I see it. Your skin does look better. There you go. See what I mean? TR Mike said, it's fine, Rob. We watch you for the insights. I appreciate that. That's kind of like saying you're a radio person. You know, that's a great insult. That's a great insult. I need to use that on Real Talk tomorrow. I'll be like, you got a face for radio. How many prediction of how many more trades Toronto will do tomorrow? Maximum 1. Nice one said, I have battle scars too, Pen. They make you look tough. Sure. Yeah. I think people judge when you have too many scars on your face. They assume that you've lived a life that's like dangerous or violent or whatever. And a lot of people don't realize I have like 39 stitches across my head, not because I was violent, but because I had a vase fall on my head and nearly killed me. Your thought on Shed's turnover, it was not good. It was not good. Anyways, I'm going to talk to y'all later. I am still going to do this work, and I'm going to have to pay her the $200, but it's all good, man. It goes to a good cause. Yeah. Yo, we have had CP3 for what, like 8 hours? We're probably going to waive him if we can't trade him tomorrow. So technically, you can buy him out, and yeah. William Lou said Scotty faked an injury for 4 plays as one of the reasons we lost. What? Huh? Hey, cool. I mean, there used to be a time when I would crash out on things that William Lou says, but now I don't care. All right, I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Have a wonderful night. Shout outs to the Toronto Raptors for getting a center. If I have some time tomorrow before the panel tomorrow on Players Choice does run from 11 to 2. I'm gonna see if I can dip out around 1:45 or so and do our thing. But I'm sorry, James, but I hope one day somebody loves me as much as you hate Ben Rogers. It is truly I have to respect the commitment at this point. Like, you have been telling me how much you do not like Raptors Digest for probably close to 5 years now, and it is wow. Okay. So, anyways, so we'll do a trade deadline show, but if I have some time tonight, let's see, right? I'm gonna see if I can dig up, a quick little video study. I know the videos are good, and quite frankly, I like to get away from misinformation because unfortunately, the way the world works is takes recycle. People tend to repeat things they hear, and personally, I'm not going to pretend to be like some great expert on Trayce Jackson-Davis, but I'm very familiar with his game. I do like him a lot as a basketball player, and I have an intuitive and good understanding of why the Raptors would trade for someone like this, right? So you're telling me we couldn't get Jock Landale. Are you aware that Jock Landale makes much more than? I'm pretty sure Jock Landale makes a lot more, doesn't he? Hang on one second. Jock Landale contract. I know his last contract was a lot. I don't know what this contract was. What was this contract? So Jock Landale contract, 1 year minimum contract. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. So a good way to look at this Trayce Jackson-Davis thing is you now have a center for a year and a half. And what you gave up is, I don't know, like, look, I don't know what to tell you. He's a better player than a lot of players on your team right now. Okay? There aren't a lot of players on your team that could actually play minutes for the Golden State Warriors without losing minutes. I'm not saying he's one of the best players in the Warriors. Obviously, you can make a case Gary Payton, Jonathan Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green were all better players, but he was definitely one of the 8 best players on the Warriors the last few years. He, Brandon Pajemski, at times Guy Santos, he's a smart basketball player. And I was trying to say this earlier, there aren't more than 25 to 26 centers in the league that can even play in this system. You have a system that requires your bigs to make quick reads, quick cuts, quick dives, set good screens. There just aren't a lot of bigs who can do all these things. I mean, it's a very atypical. So again, like, you're not going to get everything in a player. You're not going to get the perfect shooter, the perfect screener, the perfect defender, because that player frankly doesn't exist. And if it does exist, you can't get him. So, Naz Reid is a good example. Like, Naz is a great ball handler. He's a very good passer. He's a good creator off the dribble for a 7-footer or near 7-footer. He's a very good shooter, but he's not a great rim protector. So Trayce Jackson-Davis is a better rebounder and a better rim protector than Naz Reid, but Naz Reid is better at everything else. But you can't get Naz Reid because Naz Reid makes $25 million. You can't afford him, and he probably cost you 2 first-round picks at this point. So beggars can't be choosers. Be happy that you have a center who has some legitimate size. I know I've said many times that he's 6'9". He is, like, with shoes, 6'10". He's bigger than Scotty. He's bigger. He's considerably bigger than CMB. He's bigger than Mobo. He's bigger than every center you have on your team. He's the second tallest player on your team right now. So, and he's cheap. He's cheap. He's $2.2 million for a rotation player in the NBA. You're paying $2.2 million to Jonathan Mobo, and he's not a rotation player. No offense. Love J-Mo. He's not a rotation player. So, having a big who can set screens for quickly, dive, receive passes, and actually finish over the defense. Yeah, this is not something you should take for granted. All right. So, yeah, like okay, Day'Ron Sharpe would be better. Yes, I agree with you. Day'Ron is a little bit younger, a little bit bouncier. Well, I don't know about a little bit bouncier. Yeah, he's a little bit more athletic, a little bit better shooter, a little bit higher potential. Okay, cool. Trayce has been a better player. Trayce has had a better career than Day'Ron so far, and they're around the same age. So I think you fleeced. Honestly, I don't know if a fleece. You got a good deal. Not a fleece by any means, but a good deal. Good value. Good value. You know how much I hate parting out with picks. I'm very pick conscious, if you will. I do not like trading picks. I am not mad at this. Take it with a grain of salt. I wasn't mad at the Ochai Baji trade either, so maybe I'm wrong here, but I think he fits. All right, I'm gonna talk to y'all later, and hopefully tomorrow morning around 10 o'clock I can do a quick Trayce Jackson-Davis video session if I have the capacity and the time to do it. And that will depend on me doing all the other stuff. So yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a beautiful night. Peace.